What's up, dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A, and this time I'm wearing sunglasses because yesterday I had brutal Lasik eye surgery. So these stage lights, you can see it reflect in my glasses, a little bit too bright. So this one, it's this one, yeah. This one I only got one light on instead of the regular three, and this one is the regular one as usual. So this one, if you can see it reflected, it's mirrored. So this one only got one light right here, and this one only one light, whereas normally I have three lights, but that's way too bright after doing LASIK eye surgery. And you guys can see yourself in my glasses as well. So hopefully that's cool. Bear with me. I think it's only going to be there for one weekend. So if I don't make any eye contact today, oh, fuck, it's bright. My sincere apologies, but the show must go on. Gyno surgery or LASIK eye surgery or not, it was a success. I'm seeing super sharp, but the obviously the stage light and just the regular sunlight is a little bit too bright for comfort. So it's sunglasses for the next couple of days. Let's see, what do we need to address before we get started? Oh yeah, we need to do the disclaimer first, otherwise we're gonna get demonetized. So here it is. Boom. Hope you caught it. Nice and fast. All right, what's on the menu? We did the YK11 deep dive on Monday or Tuesday. It was Tuesday it dropped. It had a lot of questions, so I made a live addendum discussion, live stream basically. So that's all linked down below. And Erik Janicki released two collaborations that we recorded, I think 3 months ago on his YouTube channel. So those are linked down below as well. In case you're not subscribed to Erik Janicki, we did a podcast on my YouTube channel for about an hour, and then another 30 minutes, 40 minutes of content for his YouTube channel, which was just released last, basically this week. So those are linked down below in case you want to watch it. Interesting discussions about IFB Pro cycles and when to and when not to incorporate particular performance enhancing drugs. All right, so my week was pretty brutal. First, after after the last Vigorous Q&A on Sunday, I did hydrotherapy, basically a colonic. And well, if you want to lose your dignity, my God, that's the way to do it, dude. You're literally defecating all over yourself because you're in this place with a tube up your butt. This was the day after I did a stool examination, which is also not fun, collecting all the stool samples. Oh no, I did that right before the colonics. So I did a stool examination, collecting my own poop, digging it around in the toilet bowl basically to send it off for analysis. I did that right before, and then I went in for a colonic, even though I was not fully evacuated. So they shoot up all this water up your butt. And then, you're literally shitting your brains out all over yourself there on the toilet bowl or the bed that they put you in. It was, yeah, I felt undignified, basically. And then, of course, you're basically getting water from the other end. So I had to pee many, many times. I was there for 45 minutes, getting my colon cleansed out. So then you also have to go to the bathroom in the same place. Man, I think a coffee colonic from the comforts of your own home is a lot more enjoyable, but this is ranked only number two on the crazy experiences I had this week. Number one is definitely femtoLASIK. So I wanted to get these eyes fixed, right? Because I've been wearing glasses since I was 15 years old, and I noticed the last couple of years my eyesight was getting a lot worse. That happened to my parents as well around the age of 40. They just had to keep buying glasses and glasses and glasses until everything kind of settled at the age of 45 or 50 years old. So I was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm just going to do the LASIK eye surgery. I compared femtoLASIK to LASIK to RPK, and apparently with my focals and the shape of my eyes, femtoLASIK was the best way to go. So they bring you in. They give you a million different eye drops. Some of them are disinfectants. Some of them are to dilate your pupils. So it looks literally like you went to an MDMA party. So my wife looked at me and said, "I've seen those pupils before." So she was laughing. So it's been a while, right? So yeah, well, it's not only the MDMA that can give you pupils like this. So my pupils were dilated AF. You can really suck somebody's soul out of their body with those pupils. To kind of check if everything was going well in the back of my retina. and then I had to close it again with I'm presuming a vasoconstrictor. Then they put some lidocaine or some other numbing agents in there, and then you go into the operating room. Man, dude, I've never felt so violated. That was I've gone through a lot, guys. Parents divorcing, friends dying, motorcycle accidents, breaking your leg and having everything cut open here from the road rash, completely fucked, torn to shreds. But this was something else, dude. Yeah, you keep looking into the green light, and then they shine this bright laser into your eyes to the point you can't see anything. Then you're literally like, oh fuck, do I have permanent cataracts now? Then they bring you to another part of the machine. Then they do another laser, and then they literally cut, the what is it? The retina open, flap it over. Then you have a laser that shines into your eye to make the adjustments, right, to your eyes. So you're looking at this green light, and you see this red laser shining in your eye. That's so bright. It's brighter than going to any party and getting those lasers shining in your eyes the entire night, basically in a single 11-second or 12-second burst. That was not fun. And then they put it back, and then you can see again. And then they put these goggles on your face so you don't see anything for 24 hours. And they gave me a Valium to take home with me. It's like, why do I need Valium? I don't feel anything. This surgery was pain-free, but it was traumatizing because I had to witness everything from a close-up. And then you come home and it starts to irritate a little bit. The lidocaine or whatever, the numbing agent is starting to wear off. So I took a Valium and then I tried to sleep. And then in the beginning, my eyes were so painful that I could barely sleep, but then the Valium started working. And I was gone for about 7 hours. So apparently I slept it off. And then I woke up in a puddle of tears and snot. Yeah. Fuck, dude. It's a little bit more brutal than I expected. The gynecomastia surgery and the liposuction was reasonably straightforward. I'm already recording an extensive video about that, so I won't bore you with that now. But everything was a good success today. I went for a checkup, so all the incisions here and on the side, that's all looking nice. Of course, there's a lot of bruising and a lot of inflammation, but that's to be expected. So over the next couple of weeks, that should go away, and then my chest should look beach worthy again. But the gyno tissue, I'll show you quickly. I have a picture of the gyno tissue. Let me see. If you guys want to see how fucked up I looked yesterday evening with the goggles on and the CPAP machine and my compression stuff, then go to my Instagram. It ain't pretty. Uh, my fucking full legal name is on there. That's not prime steak, dude. That got cut out of my body. So the right side was 6 centimeters across, 4 centimeters tall, and the left side was, let's say, 5 centimeters across and 3.5 centimeters tall. And it looks like it's about 1 to 2 centimeters thick. Nasty as fuck. Okay. Well, a lot of swearing, a lot of gore, so we're probably lost monetization. So I'm counting on you guys to like and send those super chats. What else do I need to? Oh yeah, the leg surgery. Yeah, if if you thought I wasn't done, so now that my body looks like a bag of smashed assholes, right? I got bruising everywhere and water retention around my waist that's sagging from the liposuction and the gynecomastia surgery. And I can't really drive motorbike right now because the LASIK eye surgery is giving me some what is it called starbursts, especially at night. So it's a little bit more difficult to see traffic, but that will go away over the next couple of weeks. So I can't really go to the gym. So I decided to remove the plate out of my leg. I will do that next week, Wednesday. So I'll get that plate removed, spinal tap, right? Basically a lower body numbing agent. I don't want to do full anesthesia. It scares me. I've done it before and then I was constipated for a week. So we're not going to do that again. I have digestive issues enough. So I'll do a spinal tap, numb myself from the waist down. Hopefully I don't defecate on myself because you won't be able to tell, right? And then I can't imagine already. Then they're going to slice open my leg and remove the plate and all the screws that are in there. And then I don't have to do any of the shit after my daughter is born because I've been procrastinating about these surgeries, the gyno surgery and the Lasik eye surgery and the leg surgery for so many years because I was scared and I'm still scared. But now I'm just going to have to get it out of the way because I want to be fully functional by the time my daughter is born so I can take care of my wife and my daughter and not feel handicapped or do it at a later date where I'm out of commission from surgeries like this for a multitude of different weeks. So we're going to do it now. And it also means, unfortunately, I will not be going to the Arnold Classic. I already canceled my ticket to Vegas and the return ticket from LA. And I sold my gold VIP ticket for the show already to Aaron, who was going to give it to Jared Feather, so he can sit next to him because it's too close. Right? I had a trip to Las Vegas last year, and then I had to recover for 2 weeks after all this, well, partying and eating crazy food and drinking a little bit too much. And all the time zone changes, right? And just being on my feet 24/7 the entire time I was there because you're always in demand while you're in the United States, or at least I am. And then I did the trip to the UK and Holland, where I was in demand. It wasn't really a holiday, just meeting, the enhanced games people, and then flying to Holland, and then meeting all my family members separately and then together. And then I just went to New Zealand for a holiday, which was all running around, running up mountains, and driving for hours throughout New Zealand. So I'm a little bit over it. I need to chill a little bit. And I wanted to go to Las Vegas for 3 days and then fly to Ohio. But then Aaron was going to do the Arnold Classic Amateur. So he's basically there for 1 day that I arrive. And then on that day, of course, I'm freaking tired from traveling about 24 hours door to door. So it's like, you know what? Forget it. It's too close. I can probably barely walk by the time. Aaron is not going to be there, and of course I can hang out with other people. But staying in the U.S. for 14 days and then recovering for 14 days again after that, I'm gonna have to throw in the towel. So no Arnold Classic this year. I know that Chase Irons told everybody to come over here and try to convince me to come anyway, but it's not in the card, guys. It's not in the cards. I got too much shit to do and not enough time to do it in because now I'm already losing days upon days making all these hospital visits, getting my gyno and liposuction checked up, and then a separate day to get my eyes checked up for the femto LASIK eye surgery, and then I need to go another checkup for the eyes and do the leg surgery and then get another checkup later on. So I'm in and out of the hospital the entire month of January. Oh yeah, and I got to get this teeth filled in, right? That was kind of fucked up. So that's another day at the dentist. That's my body's wrecked. So, but if I were to go to the Arnold Classic, I'd be fully wrecked, and then I would look like a bag of smashed assholes. So that's not fun for anybody to take pictures with. You see me taking pictures with a fat arm and bruising everywhere. So, forget it, guys. I'll be I'll be at the next event. All right. Without further ado, let me remove this from the video description. So yeah, my whole week is almost over, but next week I got to do leg surgery. Let's get started with the member questions. How would you dose letrozole for slightly high estrogen, 1.25 milligrams? It's the only AI they prescribe here. I think 1.25 milligrams is even too high. I would start with a quarter tablet. So if you have a tablet of 2.5 milligrams, I would start with, what was it, 0.625 milligrams, maybe Monday, Friday. And again, if it's only slightly high estrogen, maybe dinyl calcium D-glucarate is more than enough. Again, if you do blood work and you see that your estradiol is like 40, 50, 55 picograms per milliliter, maybe dinyl calcium D-glucarate is enough to bring that down. Or you throw in the Primo. You get more anabolism and less estradiol. Right? So depending on what they have available, there's a multitude of different ways to get your serum estradiol levels under control. I discuss all of that in the over-the-counter supplements for estrogen management or something like that. Like I have several videos about this. So yeah, pick your poison and then decide accordingly and do blood work to make sure that everything is going according to plan. What do you think about topical BPC 157 cream? Have you seen it before? No, I've never seen it before. I've seen topical GHK copper and palmitate GHK. I'm using injectable GHK copper right now, basically injected all over my body to just to make sure that I don't develop any scar tissue. So the BPC and the TB500 is going around this area to kind of help with the inflammation and promote angiogenesis after major surgery. The growth hormone is just going sub-Q, that will go systemic, and the GHK copper is going sub-Q 5 milligrams twice per day to kind of help with the collagen synthesis. But I always get a little bit of post-injection pain and a little bit of adhesions or scar tissue in that area, or collagen deposition. And I don't want that in the same place all the time. Definitely not here, because here under my lower chest, obviously, there's already a lot of inflammation and some scar tissue that will be depositing. So I just want to lower the inflammation and minimize the scar tissue in that area and have collagen synthesis occurring without this GHK copper in the place. So unfortunately, I couldn't get palmitate GHK. The incisions underneath my nipples and in my armpits are tiny. So I don't think I need topical GHK or a palmitate GHK to make those incisions look a little bit smaller. They're healing very, very fast. Today I went for a checkup and asked them, can I remove the stitches after 4 days after surgery? And he looked at it. It's like, based on how it looks, we can, but I'd rather wait until 7 days. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. We'll wait until 7 days. But yeah, give a topical BPC 157 a try, man. I think the molecule is small enough to permeate into through the skin, just like palmitate GHK can, or topical testosterone can, and then creams formulated with DMSO. I'm not sure if DMSO allows peptides to go through easier. Molecules definitely, like testosterone, for example, but peptides are obviously bigger molecules with a higher molecular weight. So give it a try, report back to us, I would say. I know that the nasal spray BPC 157 is, I don't know, oral BPC, yes. Injectable BPC, yes. But nasal spray, nah, I would rather do oxytocin nasal spray or Somax nasal sprays. Maybe if you have a traumatic brain injury from getting punched in the face multiple times, then maybe nasal sprays of BPC 157 would be beneficial. But besides that, I don't see a practical application for it. Trivstar, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Question right away. Thoughts on low dose growth hormone daily added to 150 milligrams testosterone propionate, 150 milligrams EQ per week for a 35-year-old elite cyclist. I would love a cyclist deep dive in the future. You don't need to, because those videos are already online. Just look into the endurance deep dive. That's all you need. I have EPO, I have myoinositol tripyrophosphate, I have TOM, right? I have everything a cyclist could possibly need. And there I specifically mention that cyclists or endurance athletes should stick to TRT. So that's not TRT plus EQ, and minimize the growth hormone just to make sure that there's no additional water weight. Because even 2IU's growth hormone could put maybe 2-3 pounds, 1 kilo, 1.5 kilos of body weight on you. And if that 1 kilo of body weight you have to drag up the mountain, if you're an elite cyclist, that's 1 kilo for every right push down on the bike. And that shit adds up. So you could do basically what they do in Dragon Ball Z, right? You go into the time chamber and you train with weighted vests in a high gravity environment. Basically, you make yourself heavier while you're training, and then you take the growth hormone out 2 to 3 weeks before, and then you drop this weight, and now you're trained at a much higher body weight. While suddenly it drops it, you don't have any loss of performance because growth hormone is only there for recovery. It doesn't enhance performance. It's not like testosterone or EPO or myoinositol tripyrophosphate does. You drop the growth hormone, now you're at a lighter body weight, but your muscularity and your stamina and your strength and your endurance is based on 3 pounds lighter. So guess what? You're going to fly. That's what I would do. So you don't need a cyclist deep dive. Just type in endurance on my YouTube channel and you'll get 7 videos. Easy. Anton, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Let's see. Mike Freeman, Mr. Steve, I've been on 30 milligrams YK11 2 weeks now with 50 milligrams of IGF-1 LR3, up 1.5 kilos, 10% stronger during chest day and biceps. But I swear I'm a bit leaner while eating as if I'm on a bulk. Okay, that's good. Making gains. Why didn't you tell that 2 days ago during the YK11 deep dive addendum live stream. We would have loved to discuss it. But it's good news. Good to hear that you're getting good results. It's probably coming from a little bit of YK11 and a little bit of IGF-1 LR3. But dude, if you want more results of the IGF-1 LR3, go to 500 micrograms, not 50. With IGF-1, more is better. Of course, it costs more money also. But with IGF-1, you inject as much as you can afford. As brutal as the class sounds. Yeah, you use as much as you can afford. All right, where are we? London Mekina, thoughts on microdosing? I love it. Look at this shirt. Look at these sunglasses. Microdosing is Vigorous Steve approved. Oh, you're talking about Trenbolone enanthate. Trenbolone enanthate, 25 milligrams 2 times a week on top of TRT. That's not microdosing. Microdosing is 25 milligrams per week. And everybody will tell you that you're crazy. And everybody will tell you that you're lying. And everybody will tell you that you're full of shit. And meanwhile, you make gains upon gains upon gains on 120 tests and 25 Tren per week. And then you're laughing all the way to the bank, man. Yeah. So he's taking 25 milligrams per day, but he's actually taking 50 milligrams per day. 25 milligrams per week is more than enough to get glucocorticoid receptor inhibition and anabolic to androgenic dissociation, where you get all of the anabolic benefits, but none of the androgenic virilizing negative effects on your sexual organs, right? The prostate, for example. So start low, build your way up. If you're not happy with 25 milligrams Trenbolone enanthate or acetate per week, you can always take more. You can always take more. All right, Mike. I want to run 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and after add Trenbolone 120 milligrams per week with my 300 tests. What is the best trend dose for keeping liver enzymes nice and steady 6-week cycle? Yeah, so that's 25 milligrams a week. Start low, build your way up, and if your blood work tells you to fuck off, then you stop. You know, but Trenbolone, oral steroids will all increase liver enzymes. So whether those liver enzymes are actually coming from the liver or from skeletal muscle because you're training harder, again, I have to say it 1,000 times every time, but these liver enzymes, these aminotransferases, they're also found in skeletal muscle. So if you start training harder and you see that your creatine phosphorus your lactose dehydrogenase, and your alanine aspartate transferase, AST and ALT, I always forget what these abbreviations are standing for. AST and ALT, if those are all going up because you're training harder, then it's coming from skeletal muscle. If you see that your CPK and LDH are in range, this is exactly the same. It means that you're training like a little bitch. You should be training harder while you're taking Trenbolone if your CPK and LDH are not going up. But if you see that your liver enzymes are going up without these other metabolic markers going up that are also found in skeletal muscle, then it's actually coming from the liver. And so that's why, Steve, my liver enzymes are high. So what about the other enzymes? What about the CPK? What about the LDH? Right? You have to put it together. And but I don't expect too much liver enzyme increases on this much Tren for this much test, unless you're doing crazy drop sets and you basically get your rhabdomyolysis. You would also see that on your creatinine levels. Oh my God, it'll be like 6. We're finally at the member questions. Danny Boy asks, is it possible for Primo to raise serum testosterone levels on blood work, or does it mean Primo's bunk, or just in fact more tests? Thanks for loving the channel. Yeah, so I've never seen Primobolin detect as testosterone, not in non-sensitive or sensitive testing. So if you, let's say you're on 250 tests and your serum levels are like 2,500 nanograms per deciliter, for example, and then you add in 250 milligrams of Primo, and now your testosterone level is 5,000 or 4,400, then you're injecting more tests. But you can also see it on your estradiol. And if your testosterone levels stay the same, but your estradiol levels go low, then it's very likely that it's Primo. But then when you look in the mirror, you would also notice that, fuck, man, I look good. You know, you're like doing jawline thing. You know, that kind of shit. Start to rizz it up. Yeah, then it's definitely Primo. But if you're unsure, stick with reputable sources. I'm sure you know where to find them. And otherwise send it in for third-party testing at Janicki. Right, and we're still going to mention Janicki because that's health prevention. Or that's health insurance. So I think Janicki we can mention here. because that's helping to keep bodybuilders safe. So no, Primo would not detect his testosterone, and if testosterone goes up while injecting Primo, then your Primo is not Primo, but it's testosterone propionate. Happens all the time with underground labs. Anton, hey Steve, currently cutting on TRT plus growth hormone. Last time I asked about my IGF-1 not changing despite taking 4 use growth hormone daily. Now I figured it might be because I also take 1,000 milligrams per day of berberine. Could that be the reason? And what other supplements also suppress IGF-1? So yes, berberine can lower it. Curcumin complex, C3 complex can lower IGF-1 levels. But the biggest culprit is metformin. And even in some individuals, I believe it was last week, somebody was taking metformin and IGF-1 levels didn't go down. So it seems to be a little bit person dependent. But yeah, if your IGF-1 is not going up and you're taking a buttload of berberine, then maybe take the berberine out, see if your IGF-1 levels go down, or do the serum test of growth hormone and not IGF-1, which is just a result of taking growth hormone, where you take 10 IU's growth hormone intramuscularly into the shoulder, which has the best absorption, and then 2.5 hours later, you check your serum levels, and it should be about 32 to 36 nanograms per milliliter if you time it right. Now, if your growth hormone levels are not 32 to 36 and a 10 IU shot, then your 4 IUs is probably 1 IU, right? You're buying a 10 IU vial, but in reality, it's like a 2 IU vial. So you have to shoot like 5 vials a day to get a beneficial effect of 10 IUs, comparably, right? And it could be that your IGF-1 levels are just never going to be high, even if you take the berberine out. So this is why we do growth hormone serum tests and not IGF-1 tests, even though high IGF-1 levels are, of course, very beneficial and very desired, because then you get 2 anabolic effects for a single compound. Brandon Pennington asks, hey Steve, what dosing and timing of a dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor, Tradjenta specifically, would you recommend with Cerebrolysin? Thanks, man. Okay, let's see. What is the half-life of Tradjenta? Half-life, don't know that off the top of my head. 12 hours. And I think Cerebrolysin doesn't have a half-life, but let's... Cerebrolysin. BDNF is 10 minutes, yeah, in serum. They say 60 hours, really? Shelf life, no. Okay, so I can't really find the half-life of Cerebrolysin real fast. I ran through all of my Cerebrolysin, and my Cerebrolysin deep dive didn't get to the point where I was looking into the half-life, because we're focusing on other videos right now. So I would say if you inject your Cerebrolysin before bed, 5 milliliters, 10 milliliters intramuscularly, take your Tradjenta at the same time, and then the Tradjenta is preventing the breakdown of a brain-derived neurotropic factor, glial cell line-derived neurotropic factor, and the other neurotropic factors which are found in Cerebrolysin by blocking the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzymes. And this is a little bit of a hack that you can do while using Cerebrolysin, because, well, Cerebrolysin is expensive, and Tradjenta or similar medications, other DPP-4Is, are reasonably inexpensive, so you get more bang for your buck while using a dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor alongside your Cerebrolysin. I asked Brian Johnson when I had him on the phone during the Enhanced Games seminar, said, are you running your Cerebrolysin with DPP-4I? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Steve. Well, you should be following this YouTube channel so you can maximize the shit out of his protocols too. So yeah, I think a 12-hour half-life is more than enough to prevent the breakdown. Yeah, and turn yourself into a neurogenic monster. Adrian Ton asks, hey Steve. Come on, man. Steve, it's Steve, bro. Not Stave. Hey Steve, what do you think about albuterol in pyro or super shredder for fat burning? I think it's great if it's injectable. The tablet version, you really need to take a boatload of it. And when I stupidly made that video, right? Albuterol versus clenbuterol, and then I thought that I never knew that people were taking oral albuterol. I had no idea. So like I'm doing the research for inhalable albuterol as asthma medication versus clenbuterol. I'm like, why would you take so much of the inhalable albuterol as a fat burner, and then I later realized that people are taking this orally. So taking it orally, yeah, you have to take a high dose, like 4 milligrams, 8 milligrams per day. And injectable, I think 2 milligrams albuterol injectable in pyro or super shredder from AA is great. I took it many times and I got a great effect. So whether you do Helios, that's injectable clenbuterol, or Yohimbine, or albuterol injectable, you will get a localized effect regarding fat loss. And then if you want to combine that with mirabegron, that's okay. But can it be used together with clenbuterol? No, because albuterol is a beta-2 adrenergic receptor agonist, and clenbuterol is that also. So if you want to combine a alpha-2 blocker, sure. A beta-2 adrenergic receptor agonist, sure. A beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist in the form of mirabegron, yes, sure. And Adrian, well, if it's not available in Singapore, just come over to Thailand. It's available here. And I can point you in the right direction of Helios as well. And then we'll go out, eat some dim sum at one of the nice places here. Thanks for that hongbao, by the way. Got my wife pregnant. I'm sure that donation contributed. Good stuff. All right, so albuterol and mirabegron, sure, but not albuterol with clenbuterol. Yohimbine, albuterol, mirabegron, or ribulsine, clenbuterol, and mirabegron, right? One compound per receptor. And not to the point that you take too much of this compound that it spills over to the other receptors that you're also taking a drug for. And dude, you're fucking shredded. I don't know why you need all these fat burners. You're more shredded than, your off season is more shredded than most people. Morphix asks, hey Steve, I asked last week about combining 5 compounds and you said it's fine. Can you rate this weekly dose? 400 milligrams test, 200 milligrams Deca, 25 Tren, 200 Primo, 200 Mastrone, 8 I use generic growth hormone, I daily microdose. And another guy that loves his psilocybin. Looks fine to me. Just check your serum estradiol levels. You might need an aromatase inhibitor because 200 Primo and 200 Mastrone might not be enough or aromatase inhibiting effects for 400 test and 200 Deca, right? That's 600 milligrams aromatizable compounds for 200 milligrams or 400 milligrams, reversely binding aromatase inhibitors. So yeah, check your serum estradiol levels on this. 25 milligrams Tren is fine. I think a 200 Deca and 25 milligrams Tren is fine to combine that. But you might need to increase the Primo or the Mastrone to 400 milligrams if serum estradiol levels are a little bit higher than you would like. And otherwise, well, you throw in an aromatase inhibitor. All right. Yo, Steve, I didn't think we were going to be raving today. Yeah, I went out for sunglasses, and of course, you see all these sunglasses laying on display, and then you're like, that one. Yeah, it looks fucking legendary. And I can keep my eyes open and look at these lights, no problem. They're polarized. So I went afterwards, I went to a shopping mall and I look at the TVs. I'm like, I can't see the screens. Then you look underneath your glasses. You're like, oh, it's the sunglasses, the polarized screen. So you have to turn it, and then you can see the screen, right? But on this angle, I couldn't see any of the new screens, the OLEDs. I couldn't see any of it. Chris, congrats on the Lasik. It was the best money I ever spent. Yeah, I agree, man. Today when they removed those the protection goggles, I looked around. I'm like, holy fuck. It's like even sharper than my glasses. And then I looked at my wife. I'm like, oh, you're even prettier than I remember you were. Right? What I should have done was like, oh, 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 what the fuck? At least make a joke out of it. But yeah, she looked good. She looked fine. I'm very happy with the results, even though the surgery itself is literally like I got stabbed in the eye, which is exactly what happened. First, I got a laser shot in my eye to the point I couldn't see, and then I got stabbed in the eye. Then I still couldn't see. Dude, when I removed that flap, you're like, fuck. Is this going to be my life now? You don't see haze. You see fuck all. And you're like, fuck, is this it? And then the laser goes off for 11 seconds or 12 seconds, whatever it was. You can literally smell the burning of the tissue. It smells like burnt hair. Yeah, or burnt flesh. I think burnt flesh comes closer for the guys that ever had third-degree burns. Yeah, it smells horrible. And then they put it back, and you're like, oh, all right. Still a bit foggy. But yeah, within 24 hours, you take the stuff off, and you're like, fuck me, man. Worth it. All right. CP. It's a poor abbreviation. Very poor abbreviation for the internet. All right, I'm going to answer your question anyway. Hi, 200 milligrams per week, testosterone injected every other day. Face bloat since I started. You and me both, buddy. 2 years ago, body is shredded 9%, table salt, intake beef, rice, fruit only, never cheat. Same bloat, high, low estradiol. Any ideas? Underground lab, carrier oil. Maybe just, yeah, go to bed hungry. That helps. Or just embrace the fluff, man, because everybody on TRT has a fatter face. All the people in Hollywood, you can clearly tell. Right, the guy that plays in Reacher, right? He's on TRT or then some. Fat face, especially season 3. I just saw the trailer. Like, fuck, dude, you're getting fluffier by the season, bro. Cut it out. Stop watching my YouTube channel. Don't take too much test and then some. Yeah, some people just have a fatter face, but maybe you skip food after 6 o'clock. You go to bed hungry. I mean, going to bed hungry is somehow leans out your face, and it's because you're laying flat, and now there's no calories in the bloodstream that could be deposited in the extremities, right? The hands, the feet, the face, or the ankles. So you wake up with a puffy face. You're like, did I store some body fat there? And then you removed it over the day, and then you store it again at night. What I found works best for the face is just to go to bed hungry. It sucks, but look at all the competitive bodybuilders. When their face really starts to dial in, it's because their last meal of the day is literally 200 grams of chicken and veggies, and they starve, and I have to use some app or some sleeping aids because they're also on Trenbolone. So give that a try. If you're doing everything right, just go to bed hungry for a while, and that's it. Right? If the carrier oil would be a problem, you would feel inflamed and post-injection pain, and you could easily tell in your blood work by checking your high sensitivity C-reactive protein levels being over 5 milligrams per liter, 10, 20, 50, and it's not unheard of. If you have 50, it's a serious issue. But that would not only give water retention, you would have edema around your ankles, your hands, you wouldn't be able to close them. So if it's just your face, don't stuff your face before you go to bed. Just go to bed hungry, which sucks. Maybe you take high dose melatonin to fall asleep. That's reasonably benign. And then just suffer it off, man. It sucks, but well, you could inject Adipotide in your face, right? But if that goes systemic, then your kidneys will literally melt out of your butt cheeks. So I don't think that's a good idea either. The glasses look good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with these glasses, man. Yeah. They match the shirt. Today I met a fan on the street. He's like, hey, Steve. I'm like, hey, what's up? Sorry for the glasses. Just came from the gynecomastia surgery to have a little bit of a checkup. I get recognized everywhere now. It's hilarious. So yeah, the glasses are here. Well, they're not here to stay. I think next week the Lasik eye surgery should not be so intrusive, and then I can turn the lights a little bit brighter. But right now, I'm just going to sit in the dark with these psychedelic glasses and keep working because, well, the show never stops, right? Patrick Poss, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Tiger fan, 51st birthday with the Vigorous crew and our unbanned leader. Hell yeah. Unbanned, dude. 4 days. 4 days. It helps if you know a lot of people that have friends at YouTube. I still don't know why I got banned. Was it my joke about the Biden administration? Was it my joke about Karens? What is my jokes about, the World Anti-Doping Agency, or me talking about sources in performance-enhancing drugs, I guess we'll never know. But Vigorous Steve is back, and we're here to stay until I get banned again, which I'm desperately trying not to do. But with the content that I'm making, you know, I'm literally walking on razor blades. Leg Ryan, I'm having surgery for my broken humerus in about 1 week. Should I stop my TRT 150 milligrams before the surgery? If so, how long before the surgery can I start it again? Um, so if you do full anesthesia, I would stop the TRT because you're obviously holding a lot of water. And if you're holding even from TRT or TRT plus growth hormone, let's say you hold 2 kilos of water or 5 kilos of water and you stop the TRT, you'll be fine for 2 weeks. But you have it in 1 week. So even stopping the TRT for 1 week will make you drop about 2 pounds of water, I would say. Now, you still have the exact same amount of metabolically active tissue, but you're a little bit lighter. Now, 2 pounds of water, 1 kilo of water, 2 kilos of water, is it going to make a difference in how they dose the anesthesia? Probably not. Still, I wouldn't want to take a risk. So, they dose anesthesia on body weight. That's why you have to do your body weight check, your height, and all that stuff. Right? You have a whole system that the anesthesiologist follows. And if you're way too heavy, then they might dose the hormones or the anesthesia too high for what you need to take because you're holding a kilo, 2 kilos, 10 kilos of water from the performance enhancing drug. So on TRT, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Right? If it's only in 1 week, I would just stop the TRT now and then start basically as soon as the surgery is over. I'm still on, I dropped it to 250 tests because I added it in the Anavar. But since I'm not doing full anesthesia, I'm not too worried about localized anesthesia or spinal taps. But yeah, I don't want to do full anesthesia. So if you're doing localized anesthesia for broken humerus, is probably full anesthesia. So yeah, I would stop the TRT, and then basically as soon as you feel ready, you can start it again. Right, stop your fish oil, stop your vitamin E because they affect blood clotting, and make sure you keep supplementing with vitamin K because that has a positive effect on blood clotting. So I started fish oil and vitamin E for 1 day, and then I decided to do the leg surgery. So I'll stop that again. But I continue my steroid cycle and my growth hormone because I'm doing localized, spinal tap anesthesia. All right, let's scroll down. McButterball. Nice. That's how I feel right now, too. Dan, what's up, bro? We're going to miss you at the Arnold, big guy. Here's the convincing $20. Yes, so $20 goes a long way on the $10,000 budget. You know me, man. I spend way too much money while I'm in the US, but I need a break from traveling, dude. It's been a little bit too much, and my wife also wants to go on holiday because when I went to the US, that was not a holiday with my wife. When I went to the UK, that was not a holiday with my wife. When I went to Holland, that was not a holiday with my wife. And then when we went to New Zealand, my wife was there, but I also had my best friend and his wife to entertain. And even though it's a lot of fun to be there with 4 people, right, and renting a house and doing barbecue and getting nice and drunk, even though my wife can't drink, so I drank for her so she didn't feel left out. I have problems. I have issues. Here, baby, here's a glass for you. Finish that and then have my own glass of wine. And sitting outside looking at the Milky Way and all the satellites going by because the sky's so clear. It was absolutely fantastic. But I talked with my wife last week and it's like, when was the last time we had a holiday we didn't do shit? And then I went through, dude, it's been over 6 months. The rest was just all work or like activity holidays. So the Arnold Classic is canceled, and then somewhere early February or mid-February, uh, yeah, we're just gonna do a couple-day resort and disappear from the planet because we don't have many of those holidays left because the kids are on the way. But yeah, I'm not even sure if we can get to the Olympia, man, because if I go to the Olympia, it will be like a week at least, right? So with flying, that's 10 days. I'm not even sure if I want to miss 10 days of my daughter's life in the beginning. Because it's 10 days, dude. They grow up so fast, right? And it's not like I live in the US where I can just fly in for the weekend and then fly back, dude. I need a week or two to recover. And I would love to come to the Arnold, dude, but it's just so much fucking effort. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, even going to New Zealand was a fucking headache. So I'll hope I can make it to the US this year, but I'm not gonna make any promises. I'd love to see you again, though, Dan. We had a great night, great few nights. It was fun with Aaron. Hellion. Hey, Steve, currently on the 1000 milligrams test. Hell yeah, now we're talking. And the Romacin titrated up slowly. Only side effect is diastolic blood pressure is low. 110/40. I feel fine though. Any advice? Are you taking that correctly? Are you taking a wrist cuff or arm cuff? Is that the same reading you get at a hospital, or if you live in the United States at the CVS or Walmart, where they sometimes also have those blood pressure monitors? If that's the case, an easy fix is increasing your sodium intake, and that would increase your blood volume. Because if your estrogen levels are low, you're probably not retaining as much electrolytes, or you add it in the growth hormone, you will definitely retain electrolytes. And it sounds a little bit low. Like if you stand up, you're probably dizzy, right? Add sodium to every meal. We'll probably fix it. We'll bring your blood pressure to 120/60, I would say. And in the meantime, do some heart, diagnostic, because maybe your heart is not functioning as it should be. Not trying to make you scared, but like the systole, or what is it? Yeah, diastolic is quite low, and that's the contraction of the heart, right? Oh no, that's the relaxed of the heart. Sorry, the systolic is the contraction, the high number. So that should be okay, but the diastolic is pretty low. Okay, no, so scrap that. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. Um, your systolic is fine because the contraction of the heart is a high number, and that's not too low. But the low number, the diastolic, is the relaxed state where the blood isn't flowing. And I would say that that's too low. So if you're standing up, you're probably dizzy. And an easy fix for that is adding more sodium to your diet to increase your blood volume. Man, I drew a little bit of a brain fart there. Sorry. This is when nobody else goes live. Because they're like, oh shit, I said something stupid. Dude, I dropped the ball last Tuesday about the methylation of testosterone and nandrolone. Fucking hell. And as I was explaining it, it was like, something is off. This is right. I didn't want to Google it and look like an absolute fool. And then I finished the live stream and I look it up. I'm like, its methylation is removed. Steve, you stupid asshole. So I had to make a little bit of a note down there at the comment section. Like, dude, I fucked up. I fucked up. But that being said, YK11 is technically a 19-nortestosterone derivative because it doesn't have a methylation at the 19th position, and that is the difference between testosterone and nortestosterone, 19-nortestosterone, aka nandrolone. Excuse me. Patrick, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Hulk. Hey, Steve, my blood pressure is 130/70. Not terribly, but I'd like to reduce the systolic. TRT only. I'm fit, but could lose 10 pounds of fat. Any ideas? Well, you kind of answered your own question there. Lose 10 pounds of fat. Start adding daily fasted cardio, reduce your calories, and get to work. And honestly, your blood pressure is not terrible. Maybe 200 milligrams magnesium bisglycinate with every meal can get it down, right? The magnesium helps dilate and relax your arteries. And then when the arteries dilate and relax, the blood pressure goes down. And it also works greatly for cardiac function, so that brings your diastolic down. So magnesium and losing fat. You're welcome. And otherwise, well, 5 milligrams Cialis upon waking, and then you get random boners during the day. So I hope you have a few booty calls on standby in case the boners don't go away. Yeah, it rhymes, so it's a great joke. Carter, running 400 milligrams says 400 milligrams EQ, noticed only slight numbness, water retention. Is it text to speech? Slight water retention in my hand. Oh, numbing water retention in my hands. Okay. I'm on top of my electrolytes. I eat relatively healthy. Yeah. And you say relatively healthy. It's all the condiments and then some. Fasting blood glucose 80, 85 nanograms per milliliter. Possible hematocrit. Dude, go do some blood work. Increase your taurine intake to 5,000 milligrams per day. And make sure that you have stable water intake as well, because just because you're on top of your electrolytes, if you're not drinking enough water, then you're not flushing those electrolytes and the numbness goes away. Maybe you're not getting enough potassium in your diet, maybe not enough taurine. Like for me, dude, I really need to ramp up my growth hormone intake for me to get carpal tunnel. Like I just started 5-IU growth hormone off the bat and I have nothing. No problem. But I have high potassium, high taurine, and high magnesium in my diet. So when you say you're on top of your electrolytes, is that really true? And when you say you eat relatively healthy, is that eating healthy and then all the condiments with MSG in it? Right? You can always do better, dude. You can always do better. And check your estrogen levels. Maybe they're sky high. Maybe EQ is not EQ, and your estrogen levels are like 200 picograms per milliliter. Mine are 130, 140 right now. I mean, look at my water retention. Jesus Christ, like it's like abysmal. It's okay. It's okay. I'm fat also. It doesn't help. I'm completely unfuckable. Well, that's not entirely true. Bodybuilding with Aaron. What's up, homie? Aaron is finally in the right time zone to join in, even though fuck that message was 30 minutes ago. Fuck, Aaron, I hope you're still here. I'm always late, guys. I'm always late answering questions. Bro, we should do a muscle nomad soon. If you're still here, I want to know how life in the USA is. Steve Allen, 6 months supply of growth hormone arrived in winter cold. I started in the deep freezer, remove vials, and allowed to come to room temperature before reconstituting properly. It's cloudy as fuck. Yeah, that's ruined. That's ruined, dude. That's no longer growth hormone. That's just denatured peptides. Should I do something different for storage? How do you personally store growth hormone? Well, I don't put it in a deep freezer. That's your first mistake. And I don't order it in the scorching heat or in the winter cold. So when I was in Holland, December, January, February, you don't order gear or you don't order peptides. It's that simple. It's it arrives in a frozen package, and then you can almost guarantee that it's denatured. And here in Thailand, you don't order in what is it? March, April. March, April, May, June, because it's scorching hot, and then it might also be denatured. So check the weather outside. Definitely don't put it in the freezer, and keep it in the fridge, man. The fridge, not the freezer. I don't know who told you to put it in the deep freezer, but that 6 month supply of growth hormone you can just throw away. Because if it's cloudy, it's no longer growth hormone. So sorry, dude. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's yeah, sucks though, man. And it's gonna hurt, I'm sure. Aaron checking in. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Alvaro? Oh, it looks like a solid gym. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree, man. That cult gym in Las Vegas looks like a fucking cool gym. How was the gyno surgery? Everything went well. I'm recording everything day by day, how the recovery process is going. So just stay tuned. Once I get the stitches removed, and then I'll wait a couple more days, and then I'll finalize that video. So in let's say 2 weeks, it'll be a gyno video where I did the surgery. I just want to go through the entire process and make sure that I'm happy with the service before I start repping a clinic. I got the LASIK eye surgery done at Param 9. Let me just link it down below. Ooh, what happens? Param 9 Hospital. LASIK. Can we get English? Colonoscopy. What the fuck? Jesus. I'm looking for Lasik, not colonoscopies. Lasik Center. Christ. They're trying to sell. I already did a colonic, dude. All right, it's linked down below. So I'm happy with the service. I paid about 54,000 baht, so US dollars to Thai baht. 54,000. Oh, no, not United States dollars. Guys, what are we talking about? Let's say $1,500. Yeah. And I'll have some more aftercare. So I got into surgery. So far, so good. I can't complain. Of course, the bruising and the inflammation. And yeah, I don't have to wear the garment anymore. So now I'm just garment free. Thank God. But the bruising, look at this. Look at these nips on this side. See that? That's probably from the liposuction. And of course, I have here are the incisions right here. So yeah, brutal. But I raw dogged the surgery. I did localized anesthesia and then no music to listen to. And then I had a fun conversation with the nurses and the doctors. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, we're doing this right now. What do you do? Yeah, we're applying the anesthesia. He's like, how do you know all this shit? I said, well, you should watch my YouTube channel, bro. Gyno surgery is expensive. I don't know, man. Life is expensive. Life in general is expensive. You know, and don't take too much soul glow. If you know, you know. Look at the thumbnail. That's a lot of soul glow right there. And yeah, just let your soul glow flow. And that's also expensive. Dude, nothing is expensive. It just, look at it this way. You either can afford it or you can't afford it. And I hate to be as blunt as it is, but like, and then when you can't afford it, there's another step, right? Can you afford the maintenance on it, or you can't afford to get it broken? So let's say you can afford a Ferrari. Can you afford the maintenance on it, or you can't afford to get it broken? If you can afford the Ferrari, but you can't afford to the maintenance, then it's better that you put the Ferrari in your living room. But if you can afford the Ferrari and you can afford the maintenance, then you can drive it on the road. Because in many countries, the roads are shit and the wheels are going to have wear and tear. There's going to be assholes standing next to your Ferrari or breaking your windshield mirror, or your blinker is going to break, and it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to get repaired. So, same as gynecomastia surgery, I can afford it. I can afford gyno surgery. I can afford LASIK eye surgery. I can afford all the dental work. I can afford the colonic, which still was like over $100. And I can afford the leg surgery, which is another $4,000. So for me, it's not expensive for me because I work my fucking ass off. And I think everybody can be in a position where you can afford everything you would want if you just work for it. All right. But which one of you guys are willing to work at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night? Ask yourself that. Would I be willing to work at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday night? All right. There's your answer. If you say yes, then nothing is expensive for you. Mr. Soul Glow. Just let your soul glow. Only people over 40 will know that reference. Mike Freeman. Yeah, I missed the YK11 deep dive live. I'm impressed with that compound. All of a sudden, I'm way stronger, hard like a rock. IGF-1 and LR3 I respond very well to low dosages, so I never felt the need to increase it. Dude, just for 1 week, do like 500 micrograms and report back to us. If you can afford all that other gear, I'm sure you can afford half a vial. Yeah, you'll just go through 3 vials in a week and report back to us. Make sure you use my discount codes because you can save yourself 10%. Excuse me. Patty Mayer, man, I'm going to have to go get a refill soon. All these eye drops that I put in my eye for the LASIK eye surgery, it makes me even get a more drier mouth than before. Patty Mayer, hey coach, planning on a cleanse cycle. 1, Could I keep taking 5 milligrams Cialis? And two, what about stacking Clen with Trenbolone along with TRT? Oh, thank God you said TRT, otherwise I would have kicked you. From the chat, not in the balls. That's difficult to do from Thailand. But if we were in real life, Steve, what about these three orals together? No TRT. Uppercut straight into the gonads. Um, I think it's fine. Like clenbuterol can lower your blood pressure a little bit, but I think if you start low at 20 micrograms and then slowly build your way up as needed, or try to source a mirabegron, which is superior because it has less side effects and just as effective for fat loss. So clenbuterol, 20 micrograms, and then a week later you increase to 40 micrograms. A week later you increase to 60 micrograms, and then you see how your blood pressure fluctuates or reduces while you continue to take 5 milligrams Cialis. And then feel free to throw in Trenbolone alongside with TRT. I'm not against it, man. I mean, if you're doing this for fat loss, then TRT plus Cialis should keep your estrogen levels in range for favorable fat loss. And the Trenbolone will add some strength and hardness and density, albeit not to the extent of the other oral steroids, albeit that Trenbolone is definitely better than Proviron. And Dianabol, because Dianabol makes you look like a fat, oily, acne-ridden gynecologist TMS. Ooh, F tier. Oh, people are unsubscribing. My bad. So yeah, Trenbolone, let's say 150 TRT per week, 25 milligrams Trenbolone per day, 20 to 80 micrograms clenbuterol per day, slowly titrated upwards, 5 milligrams Cialis. And I think you look pretty good by summer, man, if your diet is in check. Yeah. Italian muscle. Do you think that for bulk, 30 minutes cardio, 5 workouts, 25 milligrams Jardiance every day, 15 IUs generics growth hormone every day, 3 milligrams Retatrutide weekly are enough to grow like a weed and keep insulin sensitivity? So you want to go in a bulk, and then you're literally pissing out the carbohydrates by taking Jardiance. What the fuck are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? Take the Jardiance out. Take the Retatrutide to maybe 1 milligram weekly, but I prefer to keep it out because it has appetite suppressing effects. And dude, I still believe, again, I haven't done this much research on the topic as Chase Irons, so that's why I wanted to get him on a podcast and discuss it. But Chase is just too fucking busy with his quarantine sales. So if you want some quarantine, head over to Chase Irons Fitness and stock the fuck up to the point that he has no stock of his own to sell. That's you just buy 10 bottles at a time, and that really pisses him off. Right? I'm gonna go make you go out of stock, asshole. Um, so, right, Chase obviously knows more about that topic than I did because I haven't gotten to the Retatrutide deep dive, and it will be a while because there's so many deep dives pending. But as of now, I believe that Retatrutide during the off season is not a good idea because it suppresses appetite, and during the off season you need to eat. Right? Will it remove the food noise? Obviously, but if you're constantly get glucagon-like action and you also have insulin secretion, it sounds like an opposing effect to me. Again, I could be mistaken because I haven't done so much research on it, but for me, it doesn't make sense. I would do 30 minutes fasted cardio, 5 workouts per week, 15 IUs generic GH, preferably before bed, 4 to 5 times per week, and then manipulate your carbohydrate intake to your activity levels so you will retain insulin sensitive. Because on leg day you might need 1,000 carbs, but on arm day you obviously don't need 1,000 carbs. You can have 500 carbs and maybe a little bit more protein. All right, so you can have that's what I did during the off season, but I was still cycling carbohydrates. I would do more carbohydrates on leg and back day, and then on chest and shoulder day. Right, so let's say arm day is 500 carbs, chest day is 700 carbs, shoulder day is also 700 carbs, and then back and leg day is 1,000 carbs. And then on rest day, I would take maybe 300 carbs and maybe 400 grams of protein, where the other days I would take 300 grams of protein, for example. Right, so I would cycle through my food. I was a lot more dedicated back then than I am now. But then I didn't have so many responsibilities like I have now. So I take it a lot less serious, and that's why I'm a lot less big and full and hard and dense. So in your case, I would do it, but again, feel free to experiment with it and come back in 3 months and tell me how wrong I was by showing us some pictures. I'm always looking for new ways to, do this. And if you have a new way to do this, then more anecdotal evidence, I can look into it and do some more research. But for now, I would say I'm going to stick to the old ways. Benjamin, what's up, bro? Hey, Steve, shall I take blood pressure management like Nebivolol propanol if blood pressure gets too high with Helios, Mirabicron, and the stimulants? Yes, definitely. Definitely. Keep in mind that clenbuterol and mirabegron do not have so much of an effect on blood pressure because they're not really vasoconstrictors, even though both clenbuterol and mirabegron have been shown to increase blood pressure. I would say more so with mirabegron than clenbuterol. It seems that with clenbuterol, well, the Helios also has yohimbine, right? So the alpha blockade actually doesn't increase. Actually, no, that relaxes the arteries. So the clenbuterol and the Helios might relax the arteries. The mirabegron might contract the arteries or constrict the arteries. So in the end, you're going to have to go with your blood pressure to see what's going on. But I'm not against 5 milligrams of Nebivolol per day because, well, your heart rate is going to go up from the clenbuterol and yohimbine and the mirabegron. And if you're taking stimulants on top, right, whether that's Adderall or something like that, obviously your heart rate is going to go up, and that can have a negative effect. So, yeah, in that context, I would also take 5 milligrams of Nebivolol, but start low, build your way up, and if you can do without the stimulants, that would be best. Because clenbuterol, yohimbine, and mirabegron together will already increase your heart rate quite a bit. So I don't think you need stimulants on top of that. Worse. Man, what currency is that? Argentinian pesos. Wait, you're sending me 100 Rs? It's literally $10 cents. Is that really? Really? What the fuck, dude? You can even send that little? 100 Argentinian dollars. It's like $10 cents. All right. Well, I'm going to go through this question real quick. Fucking hell. I just saw your video on estradiol lowering supplements. Where I live, I can only get calcium glucarate. Is it the same? So calcium diglucarate, it helps by binding up estrogens or estrogen metabolites or phytoestrogens and marks them for excretion so they don't get recycled in the body. So I think 500 milligrams in the morning and evening is more than enough. And otherwise, order it online, man. I mean, iHerb, Amazon, eBay, they all ship internationally. Bodybuilding.com, they all have these supplements. So if you can't get it locally, just order it online. All right. You can even order aromatase inhibitors and steroids online. And I think in Argentina, it shouldn't be an issue. All right. Almost so many former Nazis that live there, allegedly. All right. If that's allowed to be imported, then I'm sure you can import some steroids too. 100 Argentinian dollars. Jeez, is it really 9 cents 60? Holy shit. Well, Rob Schlatman, hey brother, is Bayer testosterone available in a righteous oil, castor oil? Castor oil. I've heard it could be either. As far as I know, it's castor oil, but there's other testosterone from Cetus cadilla, I think. This, you spell this? Or is it testosterone intake? No, see, if Zydus cadilla liquid testosterone depot, that's in a righteous oil. And that's from India. Testosterone depot, that's in a righteous oil. But testosterone from Bayer is in castor oil. I prefer castor. Thanks, sir. Speedy recovery. Yeah, so the Bayer testosterone source list, it's got you covered. And again, if anything that I mention on the source lists contains a righteous oil or ethyl oleate, I put a special asterisk there that, hey guys, buyer discretion is advised. This is pharmaceutical grade, but Zydes Testosterone Depot, or Aspen Cystanone 250. That's a righteous oil, and then some of the underground labs and even some of the pharmaceuticals, they use ethyl oleate, right? So I mentioned that specifically. So that's why it's important to go through the source list. And if you see a website that has particular products that are not on the source list, it might be because it's not Vigorous Steve approved, right? I'm not responsible for what these sources put on their source list, but if I don't list BAM 15 and MA or AA has BAM 15 to sell, feel free to buy it. Feel even free to use my discount code if you want to support me, but it's not a compound I would recommend. Same as FTTP, right? I don't index that shit. I don't index SARMs. The only SARM, which I don't think is a SARM, is YK11. I consider that a follistatin secretagogue that I got indexed because I use it myself. I got a great result. I did blood work on it. I did the research on it. So now I can put my, my blessing behind it. But Austrian, no way, man. So yeah, Bayer Testosterone, just look through the source list, and there's several places where you can purchase it. Let's see. Hey, Steve, all blood work shows liver enzymes and alkaline phosphatase all mid-low normal after 1 year, 90 milligrams Accutane. Okay, that's good. Weekly blacking out doing coke. That's not okay. Blacking out from what? From alcohol or GHB? And if we're already on this strike, let us know. Can this be extrapolated to a likely high tolerance for orals? I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it because Accutane, Coke, and GHB or alcohol, they go through different metabolic pathways than anabolic androgenic steroids. So do your blood work, go on your anabolic androgenic steroids of choice orally, and then do your blood work a month or two into it and see how your liver enzymes changed. 90 milligrams Accutane, blacking out and doing coke. Fuck, man, you must have been in all that no acne must have made you into a horny mess. Fuck, man, I hope you had a good time, dude. Stevie Wonder. Why did I not know that this was coming? And I just called to say I want to fuck you. No, that's not what Stevie said, but that's what he meant. All right? You have to read in between the keynotes. Tbol, knowing what you do now about low-dose Tren, what would be your stance on low-dose EQ for joint support? I don't think that EQ really supports the joints because it lowers estradiol. But low-dose nandrolone, yeah, go for it, man. 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams per week. I recently did 500 milligrams, but I just wanted to get my estradiol as high as possible. And yeah, my gyno was gigantic, right? Do you guys want to see the picture again? My God, dude. I know this was not your question, but look at this shit. Disgusting. Low dose EQ, 200 milligrams, 300 milligrams per week. I don't think you get much joint protection effects out of that. But 200 milligrams nandrolone per week, low dose Primo and mint, maybe. I heard that anecdotally. I mean, I got some joint lubricating effects from Primo, and even though it lowers estradiol levels. But it's been such a long time from EQ, and I don't think that it has joint support. So, yeah, I would say no. Where are the glasses from? Steve, where did you buy that shirt? Steve, where did you buy these glasses? I think this brand is called Ceres, designed in Italy. Probably made in China. Let me see if I can find a website for you. These were on like 90% discount. Fucking Facebook. Suck my balls. It looks like it's a Thai brand. I don't see any websites. I see a Facebook page. Is there an Instagram page for the shit? This brand is so low key that it doesn't even have its own website. Cirrus Glasses Instagram. Come on, man. How are you gonna make money if you don't leverage social media? Forget about it, man. It doesn't even have social media. So Cirrus Moda. Nope. It says made in Italy, but I can't find any Italian glasses Instagram. Studio Cirrus. No, dude. I don't know. Maybe you go to Mars and ask around there, see if one of the moons has it. That Ceres is a moon. Is it Ceres a moon of Mars, or is it one of those rogue planets that is a dwarf planet? Oh, it's in the asteroid belt. Yeah, it's where the Doom takes place, right? Yeah, on Ceres Gateway. All right, so it's a localized. Like I bought one of those shoulder bags, and everybody's like, "Where did you buy it?" And I tried to look for a website. Just one of the brands that is produced here locally that doesn't have a website or an Instagram page, and somehow ends in shopping malls on a fat discount. You guys know me, right? I'm a great earner but a horrible spender. So if it's not on a fat discount, I'm not buying it. See, what do you do with all your money? So I put it in crypto and just let it sit. Where are we now? 104,000. But the market is red, except for Solana. Oh, Solana's pumping hard. Holy shit, finally. Finally. Solana's turning into a fucking eyesore. So yeah, you're gonna have to come to Thailand and go to the malls. I'm sure it's on a discount there, and you can get these glasses for like $20. Yeah, sure, $20. No, it was not true. They're $70 on in Japan, but I got mine for like $50 on the discount. So I love America. You go to all these malls, you go to a Macy's, and then you buy like four pairs of shoes for $200. And everybody here in Thailand are like, "Holy shit, where'd you buy those shoes, man? They're fucking amazing." So you got them for $50 at Macy's. Calvin Klein shoes, Ralph Lauren. What else did I got? I don't know, some other brands. It's and I don't even wear it because I only go to the gym, right? So I'm stocked for life. For how long Trenbolone NFA DECA EQ to saturate to the androgen receptor? Okay, you must be new to the game. Just take the half life, and the androgen receptors will upregulate in the presence of androgens. So once they're on the androgen receptor, they produce more androgen receptors, and then they will never saturate because it's a cascading effect. So after 6 to 8 weeks, androgen receptors kind of return to baseline, and then you need to take a little bit more. So if you are, if you want to go with the scientific evidence, you increase your dose just slightly every 6 to 8 weeks, and then androgen receptors will upregulate, but they will never saturate because you take androgens and you get more androgen receptors. So how can they saturate? No comprende. But don't worry about it, man. It's if you're worried about this, you probably need to worry about your training execution. Right? How do you saturate the pump and the muscle contraction, and how to get the maximum intensity without getting a headache? That's what you should be worried about. Mr. Smooth, I think you've been perma shadow banned. Nothing works for finding your old vids. Got to manually scroll and remember roughly how many months ago it was you posted. Dude, if you go to the search function on my channel, you find every fucking video. So I'm probably shadow banned. Yeah, the channel is crawling in the snail space, but it doesn't matter because all the important people know about my channel and I make good money. So it is what it is, man. I'm talking about performance enhancing drugs. So what can you do? And the only way to grow on YouTube is to make a reaction channel, and I just refuse to fucking do that. I refuse to make slop shit content for people that I wouldn't even shake hands with, because there's a certain people that enjoy that kind of content, and those will not be people that I would want to make content for. I make content for intelligent people who want to raise their quality of life. That's why the content is a little bit more difficult to understand, so I can inspire you to learn. But if I'm shadow banned, so be it, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The important people will find my channel, and I don't need a million subscribers. You know, I get recognized everywhere already. It's more than enough. Haha, I agree. Haha. Haha. Can you run exemestane year round? 2.5 milligrams 3 times per week. Well, it depends on your serum estradiol levels. Come on, man. You know answers to this. I don't think there's anything bad with aromatase inhibitors if used responsibly. So if you're crushing your estradiol, then yeah, it's not sustainable. If you keep your estradiol middle top of the reference range or slightly superphysiological, then I'm totally for it. I'm totally for it. Anthony Nelson, which is more responsible for not maintaining an erection? Low or which is more responsible for not maintaining an erection? High or low estrogen? I think high estrogen for most men is more deleterious than low estrogen. With low estrogen, your libido is just shit, but you can still have an erection. But with high estrogen, it seems that most men cannot have a good erection. That being said, my estradiol is the last time I checked it a couple weeks ago, 130. Dude, my fucking boners are rock hard and a kilometer long. You know? Yeah. But I eat a lot of healthy fats and have low stress and I make good money. And even though I look absolutely terrible underneath this clothes, like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, ah, fuck. Like, fuck. Why do I look like this? You know? I still feel sexy enough to give it to my wife. And yeah, so even though my estrogen is high, everything else in my life is perfectly balanced as all things should be. And that's why my erections are rock hard. Because all my wife needs to do is just bend over a little bit and I'm ready to go. Fuck, man. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder why guys don't have any libido. Maybe it's just fate. You know, I have a lot of libido consultations, and I'm like, guys, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why you don't have normal libido, or it's something you don't tell me. You know, and then later in the consultation, it's like, yeah, I smoke weed every day. Well, there's a problem. It's not the estrogen. Estrogen is in a range. I call it pregnancy brain. All right, I'm probably missing context here. Oh, we're 30 minutes behind. YouTube member, welcome to the Vigorous crew. All right, let's go through this a little bit faster. Member for 9 months. Holy shit, man! I don't know how you can stomach these Q&As, but thanks for sticking around. Yo, Steve, I don't have a question, and my last question was 7 months ago. Really? But I'm still a member. Yeah, I'm surprised. I want to thank you for your content. I know it's not enough, but that's the least I can do. Hey, man, 9 months means $90 in my... No, that's not true, because YouTube takes 45%. So 9 months membership means, let's say, $50 in my pocket, which every fucking dollar counts, dude. So even if you don't have any questions, I highly appreciate your contributions. Thanks for sticking around and contributing to the YouTube channel. Or you simply forgot to cancel your recurring payment, which happens. Right? But that's your responsibility, man. You clicked the join button, so you could also click the unjoin button whenever you're ready. And if you're not ready yet, then feel free to stay member for another 9 months. I highly appreciate it. Right? Maintaining this YouTube channel is costs more than it actually pays me. Yeah. I spend more money on the YouTube channel than it makes me directly from AdSense and memberships and super chats. But it's I'm close to breaking even. So your contribution is highly valued, Mohammed. Thanks for being a member for 9 fucking months. So if you really want to make a dent, then this is how you do it. Anthony, $50. I use a 1 milliliter syringe. So yeah, this is going to be a long answer because you paid $50. I use a 1 milliliter syringe with 22 gauge pin for drawing and 30 gauge pin to inject. Okay, so that's an insulin syringe basically. Works great. With a 3 milliliter syringe and same 30 G pin, injecting takes a lot of force to push the oil out of the syringe. Is there a certain type of 3 milliliter syringe where this is not a problem? So the problem is that the hole, the 30 gauge, is very thin. And the plunger, the 3 milliliter plunger, is very big comparatively. So if you switch to 1 milliliter syringe with a 30 gauge pin, the injection is actually easier than a 3 milliliter syringe simply because the plunger is smaller. It's about half the size. And if you use an insulin syringe, it even becomes easier. So what you can do is you use a 1 milliliter syringe with a 22 gauge, let's see. Yeah, a 1 milliliter syringe with a 22 gauge to draw. Then you transfer that to an insulin syringe, not a 3 milliliter syringe with a 30 gauge needle, but an insulin syringe with a 30 gauge needle or 31 gauge needle, 8 to 13 millimeters in length, which is usually deep enough. And then you inject, and then you see that it goes a lot easier because the plunger is very, very small. So the bigger the plunger, the smaller the syringe, the more pressure you have to push. And yes, with a 30 gauge syringe and a 3 milliliter syringe, or 30 gauge needle and a 3 milliliter syringe, probably you have to put so much pressure that the syringe separates from the needle, and then you're basically, what's the best analogy? Yeah, you're basically jizzing all over your butt, but the jizz is not jizz, it's steroid oil. Right? You just splash that and this is the fucking oil everywhere, and you're like, fuck. And it didn't even feel good. You know, you're like, fuck. And then you have to pull the fucking 30 gauge needle out of your fucking butt because it's separated from the syringe. I'm talking from experience here. It's the worst. Unless you use a lure lock, right, where you squeeze it in, right? You have a little screw on the top, and then you screw it in, and then it will never separate because it's already screwed in there. So that could be an option. And for $50, you're gonna get your money's worth, man. Remember it. So if you're using that, it should be easier. But then I would still recommend a 1 milliliter syringe or a insulin syringe because again, the smaller the plunger of the barrel, the more, the easier it is to inject it because the discrepancy between the needle and the plunger force-wise is a lot less. And it makes it a lot easier to push it through. So, because the pressure you have to basically disperse over the radius or the volume of the plunger. So, go with a smaller syringe, basically, and then take it from there. Or get a 29 gauge. That's what I use. I use a 29 gauge, not a 30 gauge. So you either use a 29 gauge that goes up to 1.5 inch, and a 31 gauge goes up to 13 millimeters. That's on the insulin syringe. And that's what I use, and that creates minimal scar tissue. But if you do it for decades, then yeah, you'll still get scar tissue. All right, I hope you get your money's worth. But thanks for the $50, bro. Good stuff. Still here, bro. Muscle Nomads for sure. Studio sorted out now. Okay, I'll contact you on WhatsApp. Let's get it sorted because we should definitely do a collab. I want to know what's going on. Brandon Knott on 300 milligrams testosterone. I pin daily. Estradiol super high, 120. No symptoms yet on AI, but want to switch for Primo or Mast. Which would you recommend and how would you suggest titrating on and off the AI? Okay. I would go with 300 milligrams Primo on top of your 300 milligrams test. Keep the AI in for 2 weeks. Then drop it. Because usually after 2 weeks, the Primo starts to saturate. And then you get an estrogen lowering effect as well. So yeah, 300 test, 300 Primo, AI for 2 weeks right now. And then wait for the Primo to kind of start peaking. It starts to peak after about a month. But within 2 weeks, it should be more than enough to get an estrogen lowering effect. And again, keep in mind, once you stop the AI, you will still have AI effects for 5 days to 10 days, depending on how much you took and which kind you took, because they all have, a couple day half-lives. So you still get an estrogen lowering effect even after you discontinue it, which is more than enough to have an overlapping effect for the Primo, which is increasing. So yeah, enjoy the ride. And I would choose Primo over Masteron because it seems that more people get an estrogen lowering effect. And in my opinion, it's more anabolic, milligram for milligram wise. Right? People get an estrogen lowering effect and a cosmetic effect and an anabolic effect from 300 Primo, whereas with Masteron, you're like, just look dry. Then you go to a gram of Primo, or you go 300 Masteron, and you're like, I look a little bit drier, less water retention, but you don't feel like fucking anabolic. And you have to go to 2 grams of Masteron before it really feels fucking anabolic. Matt, how's it going, Daddy Steve? How much is the Lasix in Thailand? So I paid about $1,500 total with aftercare. I got some discount though. So that's me, right? I'm very handsome, I have a very smooth voice, right? I let the nurse fondle my butt cheeks a little bit while my wife was in the bathroom, and then I only had to pay $1,500. No, it was 54,000 baht, so that's about $1,500. Yeah. Now, if you fly to Thailand for LASIK eye surgery, and you're spending at least $1,500 on the flight, economy return, then it's obviously almost worth it, right? $4,000 versus $1,500 plus ticket is $3,000, right? So it's almost worth it. But if you're coming from the US and you want to do treatments and a holiday, then do a week holiday. Well, the problem is alcohol and partying, it interferes with the recovery process. So if you do like a week or two of fucking debauchery, then your surgeries are not going to be as effective and the recovery process is not going to be that long. And if you do your surgeries first, then obviously afterwards you're just sitting here having recovery, and then you're not going to go out to party. So if you can party without the alcohol, that would be best. Maybe just go to the massage parlors where you just can get away with a Coke Zero, allegedly. That's what I heard. Never been. Uh, so, right, maybe you want to come here to party first. Keep it sane from an oxidative stress and liver abuse perspective. Maybe go to the gyms, run a cycle, then do your LASIK eye surgery and an ultrasound of your abdomen and your thyroid and your nuts while you're at it. And then you do full extensive blood work. And then whatever else you want to do, maybe some liposuction and some, facelift, do all that shit. And then you stay here for another 2 weeks for all the follow-ups to occur. And then you go back home, and instead of spending $100,000, you spend maybe $20,000 or $25,000 on everything you wanted to do. And then you have a great experience. A gyno surgery was about, I paid... how much did I pay? I'm going to my quick. And again, I got influencer discount. Fucked up, like when I was younger and I wasn't known and you're struggling for money, you get no discounts. And then when you're a little bit older and people know you and you're perceived to be successful, then you get free shit or discounts everywhere when you don't need it. Life's so unfair, dude. Let's see. 63 plus. Where's the other payments? Oh, wait. Let's say it was 90,000 baht. I think it was around 90,000. So $2,600 with the current rate. So my gyno surgery with the liposuction, right? It was not just gyno surgery, $2,600. Yeah, with aftercare. I think it's pretty okay. I think it's pretty okay. I went to a couple other places where they wanted to do gyno surgery. One charged me 420,000 baht. Yeah, that's gonna cost you 420,000 baht. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. It was a taxi and straight out the door. But that's some of the private hospitals here in Thailand. When they see a foreigner, they charge 25% more for a surgery. And unfortunately, you can't mention the name because the defamation laws are so strict here. So if you see them charge 25% extra on the what is it, the expected bill, just walk out, just laugh and walk out. Just say, okay, good luck with that. So many private hospitals here. So I paid 2,600. So far, I'm happy with the clinic. I think I can promote them in about a week or two, and then right, if I'm gonna put my name to it, I want to make sure that it's 100% correct. So, Param 9 Hospital, link down below for the Lasik eye surgery. 100% happy. I can highly recommend it. And with the gyno surgery, I just want to see how everything clears up and how the aftercare is before I recommend it. And then well, I probably can get a discount code there, but if I refer enough people, I could probably do a facelift later there for free or something. All right. If I put my name on it, I want to make sure that it's legit. $2,600 so far. Is Steve growing his hair back? No. Fuck no. I just didn't want to fucking trim and shave today. Hey Steve, I've seen some guys use Amlexonox during contest prep. How could it compare to Mirabegron? I don't know what that is. Amlexonox. Inhibits phosphodiesterase. Okay. Binds IGF-1. Competes for ATP for binding with enzymes. Anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic immunomodulator. Its mechanism of action is not well determined, inhibiting the release of histamine and leukotrienes. Okay, I've never heard about this, so I'll do some more research, Alvaro. Who knows? Maybe you might have discovered some new fat burner that everybody's going to use. Coming to America. Have you seen part two? Yeah, part two was actually very enjoyable. I thought part two was a good follow up. It was not as good as the first one, but I did have a lot of fun watching it. So yeah, Coming to America 1 and 2, that was released, what, 2 years ago? I think it was still okay. It's not a great movie, but it took me back to a day and age where movies were enjoyable that were like from the early 80s. Like Coming to America is 80, what, 82? Coming to America 88. The royal penis is now clean. I mean, how many fantasies came from that moment? And you can't forget Busta Rhymes' video tribute to Coming to America. Which one was that? Dangerous? Was it Dangerous? I think it was Dangerous. I'm not gonna play it because then I lose monetization. Or is that the one where they do the good cop, bad cop? I'm sure you guys will fill me in the comment section. Yeah, Coming to America, it was fun, man. Rise 41 Success Spotlight Podcast. Coach, would you recommend only YK11 for a TRT plus person looking for a bit of safe anabolism? Love your show. I would just do Anavor because I don't think that YK11 is really anabolic by itself. I mean, it was shown to be a partial agonist for the androgen receptor. And again, In the beginning of YK11, you don't really notice much. It really starts to have a slowly progressive increasing effect after a couple of weeks. And I think that's from the follistatin inhibiting myostatin. Whereas like with Anadrol, Superdrol, you get, or Anavar, you get an immediate response, right? A non-genomic central nervous system response that you actually get stronger if you take a pre-workout. With YK11, I got none of that. It just seemed to slowly build up. So I would rather consider it more like a follistatin secretagogue, where you get like the effects from a peptide, a secondary effect, then you actually get an anabolic effect from its interaction with the androgen receptor. Now again, I took YK11 sublingually. I haven't taken injectable YK11, so maybe you get more of an effect, higher bioavailability from that administration route. But if you're a TRT plus person, I would just take Anavar or Turinabol, because how much follistatin do you need? How much of an effect do you really need on TRT, man? You're not that big, you know. I think this compound really shines if you're like on growth hormone or insulin or IGF-1 and a fat cycle of a gram of steroids, and you're pushing against the plateau, and then you need this follistatin to push you past it. But I mean, you feel free to give it a run, but the joint drying out effects, is that really worth it? Like I didn't experience much because I was on fucking nandrolone and trestolone and joints of steel by MA, and all the collagen and all the hyaluronic acid and all that shit. So I didn't really experience much of the side effects, but they did start to manifest after week 6 or 7, give or take. But if you're just on TRT plus and you're a hobbyist, I would rather take Anavar, man. I think YK11 is more for advanced guys. But feel free to run it and report back to us in a couple of weeks, and let me know how you like it. Lol. Chase Irons is laughing out loud. Saudi, sorry I didn't join in yesterday, man. I had that Lasik eye surgery, and I took a Valium and I was fucking knocked out for like 17 hours. I took a Valium, then I was knocked out for 7 hours. Then I had a meal. My eyes were still hurting, and then I took another Valium and 5 milligrams per time. I'm such a drug abuser. Well, it's bodybuilding. And then I was knocked out, and then I woke up, and my eyesight was Jesus Christ, it's bright. My eyesight was absolutely fantastic. Josh, God, look at that picture, dude. Holy shit. Freak. My HDL is always low. I'm still concerning if my LDL is also low. Total cholesterol 92, HDL 32, triglycerides 59, LDL 47, non-HDL cholesterol 61, ratio 3. Okay, that's not too great, but taking citrus bergamot, ezetimibe, Brit yeast rice, daily cardio, it's not much you can do, man. Besides taking the steroids out. That's a cardinal sin, right? How can you bring your HDL up? Fish oil is known to increase it, but you need to take like 3 to 5 grams of EPA and DHA. So if you get a high potency fish oil of at least 800 milligrams EPA and DHA per 1,000 milligram capsule, great. Gorilla Mind has one. California Gold Nutrition. There's a couple other pharmaceutical fish oil formulas on Amazon. So get a high potency, high concentration fish oil, and then take one capsule every meal. If you have 6 meals, you easily get 8 times 5, 800 times 5, 4,000 milligrams EPA and DHA per day. And that will raise your HDL to 40 at best. It's just the steroids, man. It's almost impossible to get your HDL over 40 with everything, with the citrus bergamot and the healthy fats and the fish oil and the cardarine, which I never really seen on blood work to really improve HDL levels, and daily cardio. So your LDL is low. I think at best you can get an LDL to HDL ratio of around 1.1 to 1. And as long as your inflammatory markers are low, so your high sensitivity C-reactive protein is low, your estradiol is sufficiently elevated for cardiovascular and endothelial tissue protection, your calcium is in range, you don't have high acidity of the blood, you don't smoke, you don't drink, not a lot of oxidative stress, your apolipoprotein, what is it? Apolipoprotein little a is in range, then I think you're fine, man. Then I think you're fine. But HDL will never be high if you're on steroids. 40, 50, like testosterone only, I got 50 HDL, but it was also 5 years younger. So let's say I go to 2.5 grams testosterone now, which I don't know, I already felt like fucking gigantic on 1.5 grams of gear last time I did an off season. Um, my HDL was 50, but now that I'm 5 years older, 6 years older of the last time that I did it, I'm not sure if I can get my HDL that high. So you just got to live with it, man. Just make sure that your inflammatory markers, your LDL aren't that high, and then you should be okay. And again, you look like a fucking freak. So you're doing something right. Alan Gabriel, I just saw your video about estradiol lowering supplements where I live. I can also already answered this question, buddy. So yeah, order online and otherwise use the timestamps. But I already answered this question. So thanks for the super chat again. But we're not going to answer this again. So once the live stream is done, just go through the timestamps. They should be there by tomorrow. Alvaro JD is fast as fuck. And I hope he's not that fast with his girlfriend, but he can be that fast with his with the Vigorous Q&A timestamps. Right? It's like done, and they're done. They're fucking posted, and it looks wonderful. But with his wife, it's at least, and then change position, and then right. I hope it takes a little bit longer for you to get the job done. That's something. The good things take time, but the timestamps is not good. It will be done really fast, and then watch that relative timestamp to you because I also already answered this. And just buy your supplements on Amazon, eBay, iHerb, bodybuilding.com, etc. The Anhedonia. Holy moly. Just finished an Anavar cycle. Crushed lipids. How soon can numbers normalize and what supplements do you recommend for it? All right. Well, see 2 questions before. Daily fasted cardio, 500 milligrams citrus bergamot morning and evening, 1,000 milligrams total, 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams EPA and DHA from fish oil. Let's say 800 milligrams fish oil or EPA DHA from 1,000 milligram fish oil capsule with every meal. Cardarine, maybe. Healthy fats and Tatka, to clean out your liver enzymes, and ox bile to help with the breakdown of healthy fats. But lipids will be crushed on Anavar. Well, welcome to the roller coaster of health management. It's just part of the game, man. Buy my carnitine, please. Yeah. You guys make Chase Irons go out of stock. Shit, am I 45 minutes behind? Holy fuck, dude. Well, if I'm 45 minutes behind, then how many super chats are there? All right. Guys, I put this in the chat. So this one is the last one. Thank you, Steve. My pleasure. This is the last one, and then I'm going to answer because I'm so far behind that it's going to take me another 45 minutes to get to the rest. So there's no more super chats beyond this message, and just save it for next week. All right, because I have so many more to answer, and I want to sit here until 3 o'clock in the morning. All right. Brandon Kelly, hey Steve, you mentioned something close last week that your 2 times weekly testosterone administration, Monday AM, Friday PM. No, just take it in the morning, man. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make your life miserable. I did that on my first cycle. I did it to the fucking millisecond, Monday morning, Friday evening, or something like that, and it doesn't fucking matter. Just do Monday morning, Friday morning, done. Don't worry about it. The 12-hour difference doesn't fucking matter. Shona Grusick, coach, would there be a good anabolism result from YK11 by itself for a tier person? Didn't I just answer that? Yeah, I just answered that. I just answered that, dude. So sorry for being so slow and so late, but there's so many questions that you know, it's yeah, it takes time. Keke, do you really think Steve gets all these viewers because he's on gear? Yeah, just because I'm on gear. Well, what did he say? Bro, so many super chats, and when I go live, I get 0 views as a natural. That's crazy, insane. Maybe it's time to get on juice to get popular like you guys. I'm the only one who get this many super chats because I answer them in depth, and most people are happy with the service. So you go to Paul's live stream, you go to Chase live stream, even though he deserves a lot more super chats, but he's got like 500 members or 600 members or something. So don't worry, he gets his money. But yeah, I'm the only one who turned my live stream into a meme. You super chat or get the fuck out. So yeah, I make about $300, $500 per live stream, sometimes $200. But this looks like a yeah close to $500 live stream. But yeah, I've been doing this a very long time, and I share my information publicly. And people know that if they want to skip the queue, you just need to super chat the fuck up or get the fuck out, or at least join the membership because there's hundreds. Like after I'm done with this live stream, I had 2,000 people join in, or 2,500 people join in, and about 250 to 275 people at the same time. And it just means that I get a boatload of questions. So yeah, super chats get you noticed, or memberships get you noticed. Like Alvaro is a member, and yeah, but it doesn't mean you need to jump on gear. It just means that you need to grow your channel and provide a service that is super chattable, because if you don't provide a super chattable service, then nobody's going to super chat you. It's that simple. So don't hate the player, hate the game. I've worked very, very hard to the point where people want to throw money at me. And, well, for the guys that remember Duke Nukem, shake it, baby. That's what I'm doing 2.5 hours in a row. I'm shaking my knowledge. Shaking my knowledge. Actually, my nipples are so inflamed right now, it could actually look like one of those girly sprites from the strip club. Kratos are the biggest guy that always joins in. A gin pop natty client of mine suffered a heel fracture outside the gym. What dose of growth hormone and other compound supplements would you recommend to improve healing and decrease downtime? Well, I'm not sure if he needs surgery reattachment of that, but he will definitely be in a cast. If the cast allows you to inject growth hormone, let's say in the subcutaneous space of the foot, I would do that. I'm not sure. Did BPC help with bone growth? Probably, right? But I think it's mostly soft tissue, same as TB500. Anyway, it can't hurt. 1 milligram TB500, 1 milligram BPC 157 per day, as close to the injury site as possible. Again, if he's wearing a complete cast, that it's going to be difficult. So at the top of the cast, or well, in between the toes, ooh, not a good idea. Growth hormone, I'm doing 5-AU's growth hormone before bed. Right? Part of that is increasing IGF-1 levels, but it seems to be working so far. I might split up the dose, but dude, I went to the checkup. The doctor today is like, "What's the surgery?" I said 4 days ago. He's like, "Really? This looks really good." I say, "Yeah, I'm on the peptide stack. I'm on the Wolverine Healing Peptide Stack." So my Wolverine Healing Peptide Stack is as follows: 1 milligram BPC 157 split morning and evening. So that's 500 micrograms TB 500 and BPC 157 in the morning and evening. You could do that too for the heel fracture. I do 5-AU's growth hormone before bed, but for a heel fracture, for a bone fracture, I would prefer either multiple shots of growth hormone over the day or maybe MK677. And for continuous elevated growth hormone levels, growth hormone at an elevated level really helps with bone healing. Then YK11 was shown to have bone mineralizing effects, but most steroids have some sort of bone mineralizing effect. So if he's natty, he doesn't really want to inject much. He could consider Anavar or Nandrolone. but that will shut them down for a very long time. In this case, I would say an annuvar-only cycle is warranted, 10, 20 milligrams per day. And then a lot of calcium-rich foods, so cottage cheese, yogurt, oatmeal, um, hydroxymethyl, let's see, beta-hydroxy, beta-methylbutyrate, calcium, not the free acid version, but the calcium version. Gorilla Mind has that. Or vitamin C has calcium as well. So HMB calcium or vitamin C ester C, which has calcium, that has additional calcium on top of your dietary calcium intake. And then I would do 2 capsules of the Gero Formulas K complex for a boatload of vitamin K, and then 5,000 IUs vitamin D3 on top. So you get 2,000 IUs vitamin K or vitamin D3 in the morning and in the evening with your vitamin K supplements. I think that's about 2,200 micrograms vitamin K coming from vitamin K, MK1, MK2. No, vitamin K1, vitamin K2, MK4, and MK7, right? About 2,200 micrograms in total, twice per day for calcium shuttling into bones. And then food rich in phosphorus and magnesium. Phosphorus you don't really have to supplement with, but magnesium you definitely can. 200 milligrams with every meal, maybe even 300, 400 milligrams with every meal. Again, it kind of depends on the severity of the bone fracture. So now the total of calcium intake is about 2,000, 2,500, and the intake of magnesium is about 3,000 milligrams per day. Phosphorus, whatever you can get from your food sources. Fish is pretty high in phosphorus. But then again, it's not very rich in collagen, so you might want to combine it with some beef and some chicken and some salmon. So eat varied protein sources, and then just let them recover. You know, there's a website. I'm not sure if it's still online. My broken leg. This is what I. Yeah, it's no longer online. That man, there was a research or resource online called My Broken Leg. Yeah, I think this is just from the forum that detailed literally everything about what people needed to do. But I guess that website is offline. Links, My Broken Leg. Yeah, too bad, man. MyBrokenLeg.com. That's where I learned everything I wanted to learn when I broke my leg. But that website is gone. It seems. Is it? I think no, it's gone. So yeah, that will be the stack: TB500, BPC157, MK677, um, collagen peptides, hyaluronic acid. But I would rather focus on the minerals and the vitamin K and vitamin D3. All right, let's move on. Hey Steve, did they leave something behind the nipple to prevent collapsing, or is that something you shouldn't really worry about if you had a good plastic surgeon? So in my case, they removed the nipple tissue, right? The gynecomastia tissue, not the nipple tissue. I just have a gaping hole that looks like that other meme, gape, gape.jpg. Fuck, that would be horrible, right? No, so the nipple was flapped open. They removed the gynecomastia tissue. Then he went in to kind of snip away small portions that could potentially form into gynecomastia tissue. And then I did liposuction in this entire area. So now everything is basically of a homogeneous thickness because the guy really went like, checking constantly. Yeah, I did some liposuction and then checked, like, is it thick here? Is it thin here? Just continuously checking, and then did some more liposuction, then did the gyno surgery, and then removed the tissue and went in a little bit deeper to make it homogenized. So even though I have a lot of inflammation and some fluid in there, um, I'm suspecting that everything will be nice and dandy. But the true test will obviously come when I draw body fat again. Like if I see all these gushes, then I'm not going to be happy. Yeah. So, but time will tell. Right, that's a risk you run if you do liposuction. Like I did pretty extensive liposuction. I'm going to be honest in that area. So right now it feels homogenized, even though or homogeneous thickness, right, where everything is as thick as it should be, minus the inflammation. But yeah, I mean, I went with one of the better guys. This clinic is just fully booked all the time with people that are coming back doing multiple surgeries. and I've heard a lot of happy customers there. So I'm just expecting everything to go well. I don't expect the gyno to come back. I'm still not using an aromatase inhibitor because my estrogen, even though it's high, I don't really notice the effects of high estrogen besides the gynecomastia growing and being a little bit more puffy. But again, I just started growth hormone again, and what do you expect? Fuck, my water is gone. I'm gonna have dry mouth for 30 minutes. Shit. So no, in my case, I'm not too worried. I think once everything, all the inflammation is gone and the water retention is gone, then and once I start dieting again, then it will finally look nice, which I was never really able to achieve even with prolonged dieting. So at one point I just gave up. I'm like, oh, this is as lean as I'm going to get, and there's always going to be a little bit of fat on my chest, even if my glutes have shreds in it. It is what it is. Yo, Uncle Father Messiah, jeez. In my off-season, son, and have been using vacuum waist trainer to temper my waist to be smaller. What am I miss? What? Okay, so you're in your off-season. You've been using daily vacuums and a waist trainer to get your waist smaller. What am I missing? So I did a food allergy test, and I cut out the food, right? So I have this, like here, all the foods that I shouldn't be eating are right on my phone. So I used to have a pretty picture of myself looking all muscular and shit, but that was a long time ago. So now I just have all these foods that I shouldn't be eating. And then every time I go out, like today I went out for dinner, and it's like, okay, I want to have this, but that probably has, mozzarella in it. And I can't have that because it probably has egg whites. And I can't have this dessert because it probably has butter and almonds. So that means I basically had steak, and my waist is small. So do a food allergy test and remove all of the foods that you shouldn't be eating. And I think it will make a world of difference, because I was bloated for months after the United States, and it turned out I was allergic to egg whites and almonds and cashews and maybe chia seeds, even though the food allergy test said that I wasn't allergic to chia seeds. Like after I removed the egg whites, the almonds, the cashews, and the chia seeds, and the yogurt, which I had occasionally, the waist is just nice and tight. It's, I'm 40 years old, so how nice can it be as a 40-year-old? Right? I'm not fucking Tony Freeman or Paul Barnett, who's got a tiny waist, who's basically the white Tony Freeman, being tall and having such a tiny waist with wide as fuck shoulders. So, yeah, I have a wide waist, but it's at least I can pull a vacuum. And you just go to my Instagram, you see how terrible my waist is. So that will probably be the last thing. You do daily vacuums, which I can still pull. I don't use a waist trainer, but, I don't compete, so I don't take it too serious. You could do Botox in the obliques. That happens in Asia quite a bit. They put Botox in the jaw muscles and in the obliques, and then it kind of shrinks over time. Right, but that's usually in the men's physique and classic classes, and how hard do they train to the point they need their obliques. Like if you want to do some heavy ass dumbbell rows, then you need your obliques to stabilize, right? But I don't think those guys are doing those. So Botox is always an option. I think I even have that on my source list, Botox. And otherwise do a food allergy test, so you have the intestinal inflammation and the allergic reactions. They go away by removing the foods that you shouldn't be eating. So, yeah, I hope that helps. Why is it a bad idea to take PEDs before reaching natural limit, assuming cyclists started low dose and increased slowly? Because your brain is not ready for it. And if you, look at Togi, for example, or all these kids that are taking steroids, they're dumb as a door, dude. Alex Eubank, Togi, all these influencers, right? And they got so many followers. But, dude, when you see them do collabs, and the way they respond to questions, it's like there's nobody home. So these are guys that took steroids before reaching their natural limit or reaching puberty or an older age, and it just affects their brain permanently. They're basically permanently retarded. Look at the Tren twins, man. Permanently retarded. Sorry to say it, man, but these or Count von Moger, right? Permanently retarded. I think only Jay Cutler and well, Lee Priest. I don't know. Also doesn't seem the brightest guy, but Jay Cutler is the guy that started steroids at 18, right? And he didn't reach his natural limit. I think he basically went to the gym and started a cycle. But he's one of the few. I mean, he's somebody you can look up to regarding the blueprint of bodybuilding, business wise, and how to achieve your goals. But taking PIDs early or reaching your natural limit, if you start steroids early, regardless of age, if you do them before reaching your natural limit, you never really learned how to eat, and how to bulk and how to diet. You never really learned how to train. You never really learned how to supplement. So if you don't reach that natural limit, you basically get all the gains that you should have been getting anyway by doing it properly with steroids, and it never teaches you to do it right. Because I see guys in the gym, they reach not even close to their natural limit on steroids. And it's fucking pathetic, dude. It's fucking pathetic. Right? These guys look natural. They have a little bit of veins and a little bit of shoulder pop, but their size is easily attainable naturally. I'll show you what true natural bodybuilding is. Dirk Emmerich. He trains here in Thailand. He's World Championship WMBF. I'll show you what's possible with natural bodybuilding. This guy's a fucking phenom, dude. And he's got just regular genetics. Dirk Emmerich. He's having too much fun in the holiday. Dirk, where are your good pictures? Yeah, here's a video. This is natural bodybuilding, dude. This guy's been pushing against his natural potential for ages. There's people who take steroids and don't even look half as good as this. Not as muscular, not as dry. So this guy deserves steroids. Right? This guy would deserve a little bit of growth hormone. But I don't get it. I mean, I was close to my natural potential. And with the knowledge that was available, what was I? I was 26, so that's 15 years ago. With the knowledge that was available 15 years ago, I think I came pretty far. Right? I trained naturally for 11 years. I did dog crap training. I did Arnold's encyclopedia. I copied Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman. Didn't really work out. I did the Weider principles. I did high intensity, right? Dorian Yates style. I did all of it. I did all kinds of diets, and I settled on a 5-day bro split, push pull legs during the off season, five-day bro split while I was cutting, push pull legs during an off season phase. I would eat carbs during the off season, sometimes a little bit more fat, depending if it was summer or winter when I was cutting, because I always get a little bit hot eating a lot of carbs. And I would do a ketogenic diet while I was cutting. So I did that for 11 years. And then I took my first cycle, 250 milligrams of test, and it blew the fuck up because I was close to my natural limit. Now, I've said it 1,000 times before. If I had the knowledge that we have nowadays for natural bodybuilding, I could have easily put on another 2 kilos of muscle, or maybe even 5 kilos of muscle, 100%. But at the time, I had a full-time job working 80 hours per week as a business consultant. So how many gains are you going to make? All right, let's be honest. All these guys now that look absolutely phenomenal, they're all coaching, they're all on YouTube, they all make money with social media. We didn't have that. We didn't have the knowledge we had today, and we didn't have the social media to leverage to make money. So I was happily making $5,500 before taxes as a financial business consultant, which is about $7,200 now, again, before taxes, which is fucking peanuts compared to what you can make on social media now. And there's guys that make that in a week. So, with supplement sales or coaching, or you can easily make $10,000-15,000 a month. And then depending on where you live, you pay little to no taxes or regular taxes, right? That's entirely up to your setup if you're an entrepreneur. But with the information we have nowadays and the money making opportunity nowadays, I would have been a good natural bodybuilder if I decided to do so, gaining 2 to 5 kilos of extra muscle tissue and working online making money. Yeah, but then I didn't have that opportunity because I had to go work. I had to go work office. And I think I looked pretty good for somebody who worked office. I was bigger and more muscular and more sexy than everybody else that I ever met. And I went to a lot of companies, dude. So I made the most money and had the best physique. So I'm very proud of what I accomplished as a natural, even though my physique was not anywhere close to the best naturals that are walking around now. So yeah, I think it's important to reach your natural limit. At least put a couple of years in, do good research, hit a couple plateaus, and then once you use steroids, you can start with a low dose and build your way up. And if you don't have patience for that, well, then TikTok is your game, man. 35 means 35. Is there anything you would add to 250 milligrams testosterone and 4 IUs of generic GH for bulk aside for more steroids? Trying to keep total androgen load low. 5 to 10 IUs Lantus, long-acting insulin, cheap, and then eat more food. You don't need much to bulk, man. 4 IUs generic GH, 10 IUs Lantus upon waking, 250 test, 5,500 calories. You're going to be pretty big, dude. You might look fluffy, you might look soft, but you're going to be strong and big. I guarantee it. Oh my God, you hit. What? Your tit meat looks like a little medallion fillet. Oh, right. Well, it looks like Wagyu prime Wagyu strip loin, like marbling like 7 to 8. Hannibal Lecter special. Yeah. What was that scene again? Chopped liver, and then he does like something like that. Tasted like chopped liver. Fuck. A lot of old farts in the chat. All right. 35 also asks, what is your experience with gear and hyperhidrosis? I notice I sweat easier with the higher total gear intake goes. Have you had clients that had this high estrogen maybe or just body weight? 200 pounds and plus body weight because it got cut off. Yeah, some people experience that. And I sweat buckets here in Thailand also, and it helps to get leaner. So if you lose your body fat levels, then obviously you can radiate the heat a little bit easier. And going on a ketogenic diet helps also because you produce less body heat. So I always notice that on carbohydrates, I just feel hot inside. When I take insulin, I feel hot inside. So you can lower your internal body temperature by lowering your body fat levels and following a ketogenic diet. And then you have this aluminium powder that prevents sweating. What was it called? Sweating aluminium chloride. Yeah, aluminium chloride is an antiperspirant. Antiperspirant is used to treat excessive sweating in the armpits, hands, and feet. So yeah, it's prickly heat, right? The powder that they put. So you have aluminium chloride. It's basically the same. It's just powder, or they have it in aftershaves, or not aftershaves, deodorants, and that seems to work quite well. But yeah, lowering your internal body temperature by keeping your carbohydrate intake low. Fucking need water. And reducing your body fat levels, that seems to help. And high estrogen, no, I'm not sure. I think it's just body weight. But again, I'm not really specialized in this. So if you ask Chat GPT about hyperhidrosis, I'm sure you'll get, let's fucking do it right now. Chat GPT, what are the best solutions for hyperhidrosis? All right. Topical antiperspirant. Perspirants. I don't even know. Pers- perspirants. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay. They often contain aluminium chloride, which blocks sweat glands. Okay, so we got that covered. Over the counter options. Some individuals find relief in, well, okay. Aluminium chloride. Anticholinergics. Oxybutynin and glycopyrrolate can help reduce sweating by blocking the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which triggers sweat production. I didn't know that. Beta blockers or benzodiazepines, which might be prescribed if anxiety is contributing to the sweating. So you might be able to use Nebivolol. Nebivolol, from my experience, doesn't lower sweating at all, man. I took plenty of it. A Botox injection, yes, that can kill sweating in the underarms, but obviously you would need to do Botox everywhere that you're sweating from, and you're probably sweating from hyperhidrosis everywhere on the body. So that means, yeah, it's going to suck to do Botox everywhere. Iontophoresis, mild electrical current through the skin to reduce sweating. Microwave therapy, Miradry. Miradry uses microwave technology to target and destroy sweat glands in the underarms. Surgical options, sympathectomy. Oh, sweat gland removal. And then lifestyle stuff. Acupuncture might help. So yeah, there's actually quite a good amount of options that ChatGPT offers. And the first one was a topical antiperspirant in the form of aluminium chloride. So at least I was on the right track. Yeah, shit. I don't know everything, guys. Rita Malik has just interviewed somebody that claims to have a 14-incher. Do you think this is legit or bullshit? It's just like buying a sports car, right? I know. The pictures, YouTube, where it didn't happen. OnlyFans where it didn't happen. And dude, 14 inches, man. I did my protocol right, and I gained an inch, give or take, and from a pumped state, so it's like 1.5 inches extra. And my wife was not happy, dude. She's like, I like the old size. It was more than enough. So I stopped the protocol. And that seems that most of the, I think I retained about 1/2 inch. I don't think it's permanent. Same as steroids, man. You have to keep taking it, keep pumping, keep applying the DHT cream. And even though I'm still using TB500 to BPC 157, I think that's a small um, contributing factor in the protocol. Don't worry, we'll get to that Batman protocol eventually. Just got so much other shit to do. Along with TRT program, I added 80 milligrams per week nandrolone. I was successful in getting joint relief. I did get a small lump of gyno the size of a pea. Estradiol control is stable. Any ideas to better manage the gyno? You mean? You can block the estrogen receptors. You know, if estrogen is in control, you could get some localized aromatization, right? That doesn't end up in the bloodstream. I mean, aromatization helps in the cell where it then interacts with the estrogen receptor. And that could cause a little bit of gyno. Or maybe the gyno was already there and the water retention, the additional estradiol is just inflaming it to the point it's now noticeable. Um, yeah, man, it just sucks, right? You can take the nandrolone out. You can be a little bit more aggressive on the estradiol management in the form of an aromatase inhibitor or adding in mastestrone or primobolan, which seems to be pretty effective in reducing and shrinking gyno and preventing further growth. Nolvadex to offer like temporary relief. Right, so you take 10 to 20 milligrams Nolvadex for a couple of weeks until the primobolan really, or the mastestrone really starts to shine through, and then you take that out. So yeah, multiple options for you, and otherwise take the nandrolone out, man, or do surgery like I did. But it sucks. Solana is pumping because of Trump official coin. It's gone nuts. But that coin has been around for a while, right? Uh, Perfect narrative for alt season when Big Don gets in. Sold 60. Okay. Okay, good. Made some profits. Can't complain. That was pretty heavy in H bar and XRP. But XRP hit my target, so I'm out. So I'm waiting for lower prices. Same for H bar. Unfortunately, I have to make YouTube videos, so I can't really go all in on crypto, which I should be doing. Then again, crypto gains I made, it's pretty insane. Just, ETH, dude, ETH is almost at 0.3. I wonder what's going to happen to ETH this cycle, but I'm still going to put. I think I'm still going to buy quite a bit when it hits 0.3 compared to Bitcoin. I wanted to get in Solana at 0.0018. And I guess that's not going to happen now. I had a buy order there. It went to 0.19 or 0.019. Oh, fuck, man. It hit almost the top. Oh, yeah. It hit. Dude, if you look at Solana, the one-day chart, you see the downward resistance, right? It just hit it. Fuck, it pumped pretty hard, dude. But my wife also says every time we do it. 32% compared to Bitcoin. Holy shit. Fuck. Could have made a lot of money there. Well, can't complain. Up until, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago, it was going downwards. And then you don't look at it for a while because you have surgery, and then you miss out on a couple million. Oh, too bad. I'll make my million somewhere else. Ben Creel, my girlfriend won't go out in public with me when I wear the Vigorous shirt you gave me in Vegas. Is it time for her to tell her to hit the road? Really? Dude, when I wore this shirt in Vegas, I got a fuckload of compliments, but maybe that was just pity compliments, right? Like, look at this fucking idiot wearing a shirt like that. That's a nice shirt, bro. Right? It's fucking sarcasm is so high I couldn't even recognize it. I know my wife doesn't give a shit what I wear in public, but we do dress up when we go out to dinner. She dresses up, I dress up. We both look like $1 million. But yeah, if the girlfriend has a problem with it, I don't know. You just don't wear it, and then when she wears something you don't like, you tell her to, and then you say, "Well, I don't wear the Vigorous shirt, so you're not gonna wear this." And if she says, "Yeah, but you can tell me what to do," and you wear your Vigorous shirt and you go out like that. And if that's a problem, then you fuck her best friend. That will solve all your problems. Because you know how women are. They always got a best friend. And if they have problems, she's the first one you fuck. Just to get it over with. But you didn't hear that from me, right? I don't want to go to the Arnold Classic or the Mr. Olympia and then get your ex-girlfriend fucking slapping me with fucking baseball bats. You made me break up with my boyfriend. It's all your fault. I think this shirt is fucking killer, man. Who wouldn't like this shirt? Like, look at this shirt with these glasses. Smile. You say, "What's up, baby?" And all the women are cringing right now. I don't know, man. I always have a good interaction with people, unless they're cunts. So I don't think it's a shirt. I think, I think you just, you know what you need to do? Next time you give her a couple pumps, wear this shirt. She'll like it. Yeah, make sure it's a good pump. Give like 5 pumps for Uncle Steve. And then if she doesn't like the shirt back then come to Thailand. I'll hook you up with some chicks that do like this shirt. Yeah, they'll like it all up and down, everywhere. Okay, next one. Anabolic Leo with 375 milligrams test a week. What amount of Primo should I run to keep a good ratio? So you can start with a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's 375 tests and 375 Primo, unless you feel that that's too much of an increase, doubling the dose. Then you go to 250 tests, 250 Primo. So that's from 375 steroids to 500 milligrams steroids per week. That would be a nice adjustment, right? That's 30% more, 33% more. That's okay. Or 300 tests, 300 Primo, right? 375 to 600 milligrams of steroids in total. And then you do your blood work 4 weeks, 6 weeks into it. See what happened to your estradiol. If your estradiol is too high, you reduce the test and increase the Primo. And if your estradiol is too low, then you increase the test and reduce the Primo. And then you continue. You know? It's that simple. Alan Gabriel, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Fuck, man, we had like 5 members today. Nice. Mike, how much selenium per day do you supplement daily? Why is it important to take it well on TRT? Okay, so selenium is important for testicular function. I don't take any selenium supplements right now because I'm off the HCG because I got enough semen samples frozen to repopulate the planet. And my wife is already pregnant with 2 embryos pending. So I don't think I need any selenium supplements or HCG supplements. And since my libido is so fucking high, the HCG is not contributing anything. So if I can save 3 injections per week, then I'm fine, right? And Albuterol is expensive. Back when I was actively trying to restore my fertility to the absolute phenomenal levels, I was getting about 400 micrograms selenium or 300 micrograms selenium from a diet. And then I supplemented with 200 micrograms selenium on top. So that's, let's say, 500 to 600 micrograms selenium. Selenium. And my loads were legendary. Yeah. Yeah. I think so because I all did cream pies, right? It's like when you try to get your wife pregnant, it's like you're not going to shoot outside. It's fucking dumb. Just do it all inside. But the couple times that I did semen analysis, that to the brim, man, 4 milliliters. Good shit. And then you give it to the nurse. She's like, fuck. Double thumbs up for you. Weirdly, they never came to help me out. Well, unfortunately, at the clinics, they usually ask you for the intake form if you're married or not. So maybe if you're single, they do help out. Fuck, I got off track again. So no, I don't supplement with any selenium. But I think for most people, you just assess how much you get from your diet, a chronometer or another, micronutrient tracker, and then you supplement maybe with 100 to 200 micrograms on top, right? And then you have vigorous loads, baby. Yeah, I have a video on that. With glass ampules, would you use a filtered syringe to avoid injecting tiny glass particles that might not be visible? Every time I break it off, it's not a clean break. I use 10 milliliter vials. Thanks. Yes, I actually made a video on that. It got no views, but I have a video on this topic. It might be suitable to use a filtered syringe. I've never done this though. But yeah, there are microparticles of glass in shattered ampules. So it might be wise to draw with a filtered syringe, but then you have to make sure that the filtered syringe is not filtering out the peptides, because growth hormone is a giant molecule. And of course, you could compare microns, right, from the filtered syringe to the micron size of the growth hormone molecule or the brain-derived neurotropic factor or other peptides that you're injecting, right? And for the steroids, it doesn't matter; those molecules are tiny. But with peptides, well, like the molecular weight of testosterone is what, 300 something, but the molecular weight of growth hormone is 22,400. So that's a big difference. And it means that the molecule is significantly bigger, significantly heavier, and it might not pass through a proper micron filter. So that you first need to investigate. I haven't done that, but that's something you need to do. That being said, I've never used a filtered needle, ever. How much glass I've injected in my body, I guess we'll find out during the autopsy. I have that in my will that I want to donate my body to science and see and do a special examination on my my injection sites to see if there's any residual tissue there. That's in my will. So if I die, then we'll, I don't know. Dr. Dean and Kurt Havens can do my autopsy analysis as the final anabolic roundtable. And then let's see how bad it got. But yeah, there's several scientific studies that show that depending on the skill of the nurse, that there's more or less glass particles, but still glass particles when you break it. And those are so small that you can't see it, and they might end up in the syringe. Yeah. No free rides. Kratos, I've been diagnosed with severe sleep apnea and have a CPAP machine on the way. My blood pressure has been 130 over 70 on 100 milligrams losartan. Diet is on point. Been doing daily fasted cardio 3 to 4 times a week. What else can I do? Well, your blood pressure is fine. I would be more worried about your hematocrit and your red blood cell count. But if your CPAP is on the way, dude, I've been using a CPAP, and I don't think I even need it. But you just sleep so much better. Yeah. Like I started snoring after I went to the US, right? And Aaron was complaining, like, dude, you snore like a fucking bear, because I was eating like a fucking badger. So I ended up snoring like a bear. Um, Not a badger. What is it called? Is it a badger? Raccoon. Raccoon. Yeah, I was eating like a raccoon, like in a trash panda. Uh, so I was snoring up a storm there. It was like, dude, you need a CPAP machine. And then I went to back to Thailand. I fasted for a week. Then the snoring went away. And then I started my off season and I started snoring again. So my wife was like, fuck you. You're going to buy a CPAP machine. And the good thing about Thailand is you call and then you have a CPAP machine in the house the next day. No sleep study, no waiting list. You just pay a little bit extra. And I had an, what is it called? A ResMed Air Sense 11 and a decent mask, which I later changed to the little nose one. What is it called? Nose, CPAP mask. AirFit N20 nasal mask. That's the one I have. Actually, if you go to my Instagram, in fact, how many likes could I get on that bad boy? I just posted it before it went live as a little joke. Yeah, so if you, I'll show you here. So this is me a couple days ago. So this is me with the garment for the gyno surgery and the things for the Lasik eye surgery, and then desperately trying to put the CPAP machine on. So this is the AirFit N20 nasal mask, and it just blows air in your nose. Then I don't know which CPAP you get, but if you get a ResMed AirSense 10 or 11, I put the pressure to 7 or 8, and then it goes a maximum of 12 during the night with what was the humidity setting? I think I almost had it at the maximum humidity because I sleep in the air conditioning and it draws all the fluid from the air. Dude, it's night and day, man. It's night and day. I sleep so much better. I sleep, even though my hematocrit did go up, but it's probably I just need to do blood work again. But yeah, my hematocrit did go up. So if you got the CPAP on the way, don't have to change anything. You are on losartan. You're doing your daily fasted cardio. Of course, you're on a boatload of gear, which we both know about, and you eat a boatload of food. But that's the CPAP will change everything, man. Yeah, it will make a huge difference. Josh, thank you, Steve. All right, my pleasure. All right, here was my no super chats. We made it right on the clock. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Jack, any health related to weed and steroids? No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What most people get gear online or from Bro in the gym, which is preferred. Check out my website. And that's it, guys. It's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it's been long enough. All right. I did 2 live streams this week. Sorry if I can't answer all of your questions, but again, it's a meme. It's a super chat, super flood. And if you don't super chat, then or you super chat after the deadline. Sorry, dude, you're gonna have to come back next week. I don't have any videos for next week because this week I was in and out of the hospital. So I'll try to record something Monday. Tuesday, got to go to the hospital. Wednesday, got to go to the hospital. Tuesday, I remove the stitches. And then Wednesday, I get my leg surgery done. I have to stay overnight in the hospital. And then it's Thursday. So, yeah, the content will be slim. I'm trying to get through all this shit as fast as possible. And then, I hope I can set some time aside to be serious again. But I was on a good track, though. And then I decided to do all these surgeries. Well, Steve's full of excuses, but I had to do it at one point. Okay, guys, at least there'll be a Vigorous Q&A next weekend. I should be in the right state of mind and the right health. And then hopefully no glasses. But if I still wear the glasses, it's either a fashion statement or it's because the LASIK eye surgery is still giving me prickly eyes. I hope you guys had a good time. I had a good time talking to you guys. And we'll see you next weekend. Take it easy. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.